What's good? What's good? Hit that like button coming in, y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. You want to hit that like button tonight. Oh yeah, we got a call already. Who called? Will. What's up, Tate?
Hey, what's up, Stat?
About to get this shit started in a second.
Hey, what up, dude? Hey, what's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Ready for the show to kick off? Oh, man, you already know, man. Hey, I was sorry I missed y'all catch yesterday, man.
It's all good.
I know.
It was the last Saturday show for until the weather go back down. I'm gonna start back Saturday, Sunday in the fall. So.
Oh yeah. Man, that was crazy. But you know, I was
with the fam, huh? That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We gonna let this intro go, and then we'll start in a second, though. Make sure you share this link, Tate, with one of your homegirls or something. I know you got them.
Looking to transport your vehicle?
I know you got them, buddy. All right, we got Mike. We got Tate in the building already. How you feel about the topic tonight, Mike? How you know people got their shit together? Is this a?
Yeah, you'll know when. Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I say, is this this one of the main things when you're dealing with people or dealing with relationships? How you vet out the right person for your lifestyle. So having your shit together for most men, I know men of substance, men of character like you guys on the phone. It's a big deal. You just don't want to deal with anybody and everybody. So how you feel about this topic tonight, Mike?
Man, I think it's gonna be a fucking hard hitter right there. Cause when you with somebody or you around other people that got their shit together, that gives you more encouragement to do better or to at least get like that other individual. Not try to be like them, but get on that level. You know what I'm saying? We dealing in life and shit where the world is very spiritual and we're dealing with frequencies. You never want to deal with a low frequency individual. You want your frequency to be as high as possible. And what I mean by high is you're doing better. You're taking care of yourself. You're establishing, relationships on a better plane. You establishing friendships. You know, you're building alliances. You're building to be a better individual. And that's when you know you see people that got their shit together, and you're like, you know what? That person's a positive influence. I need to get like them. That way I can get my shit intact. And when I get my shit intact, maybe I could teach somebody else who may be down on their luck. You know, to have that magic rub off on you, being around positive people to help you elevate.
Facts. That's facts all day. A person that if a person is going to be an asset to your program or a liability to your program or your life, period. How you feel about that, Tate?
I mean, once again, you know, Mike definitely hit it out the park to me. I think anybody who's going to bring something to you, there's going to be a certain way that they can come. Like, it's almost a way that the person talks to you, how they deal with you. And if somebody is all about your advancement and y'all's advancement together, man, it's just gonna be a different feeling, man. It's almost gonna feel like that, like as what they say, Johnny Cocker, if the glove don't fit, it must have quit, man. It's like when you and the other person have what y'all gonna have, and y'all gonna be able to go on to those things that you want to do, man. It's gonna have a certain feel to it, and if it don't have it, you can't force it.
So, Michelle, I see you joined the line. How you feel about people having their shit together? Hold on, before you answer that, I'm on Catherine calling already. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we got the group in here.
Oh yeah.
What shit? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get it in here. I don't know why this shit ain't working. I don't know what the hell wrong with my phone right now. But yeah, hold on, Catherine. If she can get in here, shit. Somebody trolling my phone. All right. Damn. Everybody call back real quick. My phone tripping. That's crazy. Now my phone started tripping. All right. There we go. What's up, Tate? You in there?
Say it again.
My bad.
Oh, no, you good.
I don't know why my phone was tripping, though.
Oh, okay.
All right. Mike, call back. And Michelle called back and Catherine called back. Well, I might have to call them. I hate to start the show off like this. All right. Let's see. What's good, Catherine?
Hey, what's up?
My bad. Y'all got to call. My phone was tripping when you called. What's up, Michelle?
Hey.
All right.
Hey,
Mike,
Michelle.
now we got to get...
Hey, Catherine.
Now we got to get Mike to call back in.
Okay.
Shit, and then we can get the show started.
Okay.
Mike, call back in, buddy. I know he will. But how you feel about the topic, Michelle, about people having their shit together?
I feel that it's very important, as we're talking about for like dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important for, I don't know, I feel like people need to be in a position to date before they date. Priorities. There's just certain things that I feel like a person should have figured out within themselves before they try to.
Let me add somebody else in. Hold on. Yeah, my bad, Michelle. Go ahead. Keep going.
I know you good.
Hold on. Add Mike one more time.
Man, I
God. So blessed and everything. How you guys doing today?
Yeah. What's up? What's up? All right, Mike, my bad. I got everybody back on the line, but I see Camille here, Catherine here, Michelle here, Tate here,
All right.
and Mike
All
here.
right.
Hi, Mike. This is Camille.
Hey,
How you
what's
doing
up?
today?
So far, so good, man. I'm in this beautiful show. You know what I'm saying? I got my people around me, my family, my home away from home.
Life is so great. Life is so grand.
All right. My bad, Michelle. You can continue what you were saying. I had to add everybody in.
Oh, no, you good. So basically, I was just saying that when you date someone, you need to make sure that you have certain things in place. Because if you don't, you can take that baggage trying to have a relationship with someone. It's just certain things that you for you.
Okay.
I feel like before you put yourself in a position that that's just my opinion.
All right. Make sure when y'all ain't talking, like, it won't be. It's like 5 people on the line, so I don't want everybody to get.
Bro, I don't want to hear the ice cream truck in the background. I'm taking all the sprinkles and shit. You know what I mean?
That's all good.
Gosh.
All
I have
right.
a cool question. I think, I like how you say how to know if people got their shit together. It's one thing is about they on their purpose, or when they have their goals to achieve and they just so grounded, so stable. Or if they're not stable, you already know, and your intuition will possibly tell you.
Yeah, and that's one thing we're gonna talk about when we get into it. I'm gonna talk to Catherine real quick. How you feel about the topic, Catherine?
I think it's very important for a person, to have themselves together, because if you're not together yourself when you're trying to establish a relationship with someone and you don't really fully have it together, a lot of times you're going to go through a lot of, bumps and bruises through going through the relationship just to get it started, or when you in it, because of all the things you don't have together. It's already going to be other things that you're going to experience through the relationship. So at least just having most of, having your stuff together, as far as, finance-wise, where you at with yourself, with, what is that, like being secure with yourself and just knowing yourself. I think the whole self thing is very important in order to, before you get started in trying to pursue a relationship with someone, So it's very important.
But some people, like this, the thing is too, some people don't know themselves. That's why I said, when you ask, like you ask them a very important question or anything about themselves, they just stay there. And one thing why they don't know themselves, because they jump from man to man to man, or woman to woman to woman. They use the people for their financial or resources and their energy. So you already know what they not good on their own self. That's one too.
That's facts. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't know, Camille, you gonna stay on long or what? How long you gonna think you gonna hang in there tonight or what?
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just getting my facts from students, because I saw this topic today, because I was on a project. I was doing a project.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I saw this. I saw the thing, and I really was interested. It's so true, because I see today a lot of people are still relying on people for their financial, having people provide for them when they ain't got their shit together. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, because I had this conversation with my cousin, because and he said the same thing. He said, the reason why people are like that, because they ain't got they not stable, and they not reliable, and they don't take care of their responsibilities on the right terms,
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're gonna get started, and I always gonna have a list of things, a list of questions. Then I'll go to.
Get my thoughts out. I'm just gonna get my thoughts out. I was like, let me call Mr. Stacks and see what's going on, because I saw the topic today, and then I was like, oh, all right, let me get my thoughts out.
Okay. All right. Well,
I just want to get my opinion out on it. I hope you guys have a God bless day. You too, Mike, and You stay safe out during these tough crises, and you stay good.
All right. Work on that school, girl.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. All right. So the first thing we want to talk about is I'm going to talk about the let me see, make sure she went off so I can open the hopefully Big Rich call in tonight. But first thing I'll talk about is a spiritual and mental vibes with people. I mean, to consider yourself having your shit together, I feel like you got to be in tune with yourself. So that's the first thing you'll notice when you connect with a person is the spiritual and mental vibes. And I'm gonna start off with Catherine with this one. How you feel about the spiritual and mental vibes? Is that the first thing that you'll know if you know of a person even for you in any way when you trying to vet out if they got their shit together?
When that's important to me with where that person lies spiritually, because then they let me know what type of mindset they have, what they may bring to the table for me in our relationship, because it helps me to know how they think, because if you don't have no type of connection with God or spirituality, you're bound to do anything. To me, that's how I see it. So if I meet a person and they like, no, not that they don't go to church. If I meet a guy, he say he don't go to church, that's not like a no-go, like, okay, no, I'm not going to deal with him. But if he don't have no sense, no fear for God or anything that he do, no regards, then I'm not going to really take that person seriously, even want to pursue anything. I ain't saying I wouldn't probably be a friend to that person or whatever, but as far as like getting into anything serious, like as far as relationship, I wouldn't, because I need somebody to be somewhat on the same, on the same level as I am, and when it comes to spirituality and God, that plays a very big role, because to me, that's like the main thing right there, because that's going to help lead the relationship in the ways that you want to go. And without him, I don't feel like a lot of stuff is too much possible, in anything. So it has to start there first.
What about any mental, do you got any mental vibes that you notice right away with people, or is just you just worry about the spirits before the mental? So I kind of put them together.
Like if they got a mental problem, like,
or you can tell the way they kind of move if they. Well, we'll get into that in a second, but I think you answered that on point. Mike, how you feel about the spiritual? My bad if I cut you off, but I'll just go to Mike. We'll jump into that second, because the next question is kind of part of your mental anyway. So, Mike, how you feel about the spiritual vibes or knowing that a person got their shit together?
I mean, the spiritual vibes, as far as that person having their shit together, it's definitely Catherine, the way of what she said. Basically, it involves a lot of that. If that person's spirit is fucked up, as far as the frequency level and their level is low, then that shit's gonna bring your level down low. You gotta be more involved with people that have that frequency up high. They're into positivity, positive shit, not that negative shit. That negative shit could literally drain your life force. And any kind of positivity that's coming along with it, like, for example, if I say, yeah, man, I found $20 on the street today, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. Let's go ahead and go get this food. And then you got that one motherfucker that come around you that got low frequency. They be like, yeah, man, I'm tired of this shit happening to me. Okay, you're tired of this shit happening to you, but what are you doing about it to make it better for you? You need to get around people that have positivity around you and not just cry all the fucking time. Or you here to cry, or you here to put in that work. Because if you're crying all the time, that's going to only help you, like, keep your frequency low. But if you're going to work on making your frequency high, then you could pretty much get out of almost any kind of adverse situation that's becoming a burden on you. You could better yourself. But one thing that I noticed above all else is having faith in God. Because faith, work without faith is dead. If you ain't believing in Him, if you ain't following through, God helps those that help themselves. If you ain't following through on that shit, you're done. If you ain't around positive people that got the same positivity as you, here's what you do. For the negative people that are always around you all the time, and I want everybody to do this, and I'm serious. When you find positive people around you, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Stay prayed up always, even before you leave your house. But for the negative motherfuckers that like to stay around you and complain all the time, just start praying. And when you start praying, watch them start leaving. Watch them start leaving. They're going to be like, yo, this motherfucker's praying. Oh, you know what? I can't be here. That's where all of that negative energy is coming from. It's the devil's work, B. That shit be trailing people, and they find that energy to latch on to positive people to drain them of this shit. So always stay prayed up no matter what you do, and be around people that are making moves, positive moves, and you'll see how much your energy will be up there. You'll be like, yo, man, this motherfucker, he getting it in, he doing this, he doing that, he's staying afloat, he getting his shit done. Those are the people you got to be more involved with. And most of all, stay more in line with God. Once you do that, all of that negativity, all that shit that be trying to find you, will fall.
Yeah, facts. We got Big Rich call in. Let's take Big Rich in here. What's going on, Big Rich?
What it is, Stack? What's happening, man?
Nothing much, man. You know, we on this Stack Attack Sunday. We about to stay on Sundays. Last night was the last Saturday show. You know, brother need a little break, man. Did 14 straight shows in 7 weeks. So, you know.
I knew you was going to end up going back to it, man. You've been going real hard there for a minute.
Yeah.
What's up, Michelle, Catherine, homie Mike? What's happening, man?
What up, Big Rich?
Tate in here? Yeah, what up, baby?
Big Tate in there.
I'm good, man.
So I'm gonna go to Tate now. How you feel about this first thing about the spiritual vibes when you know if a person got their shit together, Tate?
Man, I think it's like magnets, man. You attract people who have like spirits, and then you kind of repel those that don't. You can tell real quick where somebody is, and if you feel a way, and that's the funnier thing. We always say God showed me a sign, but if you start feeling indifferent with somebody, that's a sign within itself. So, you know, you try to give people who are going where you're going, if not going further, talking about the way you're talking, if not talking about different stuff that want to elevate you. And I'm talking about in the spiritual sense. And I think once you kind of have a plan of how you want to be around people and the type of people you want to be, it shapes, you know, that walk spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to be around somebody who, as we say, going to church and they talking about, man, we ain't going to church, we doing something else. All right, that ain't the vibes you want to get. You want to get somebody say, well, maybe I go to church, but maybe instead of going, I watch it on TV or I watch it on my phone. Okay, good. There you go. Or, hey, I don't go to church, but, hey, I do read my word, and I just want to, you know, a group of people I could talk to, you know, we could talk about the spiritual things. Like, you got to put yourself in those type of circles. And when you're not in it, and that's what you want, it's not going to work. You got to tap into the source.
Facts. All right, Michelle, how you feel about the spiritual vibes when you meet somebody or deal with somebody, even period, professional, all that? If she's there.
I don't. When I meet people, I don't like to be around negative people. So I definitely think it's important to surround yourself around positive people. Somebody that's always just negative and angry, complaining, and just mad, they can bring your energy down if you associate yourself with them. I'm the type of person that kind of feed off of energy. So, like, if I'm in the presence of a person and their energy is just bad, sometimes it can kind of make me start feeling some type of way. So, what I do is just, you know, try to separate myself from people like that because I like to stay in a positive mindset. But it is one of them things where it's like, you know, some people, they be messed up in the head or they have a lot of stuff going on and sometimes they don't try to deal with their emotions. So, you know, sometimes people, I mean, they be angry or they may be going through something. So I try to, you know, be open to that and then try to, you know, give my positive vibes off. But then you do have some people that just, they just angry. They just mad. That's how they want to be. It doesn't matter how positive you are. They still gonna be who they are. So those people I just try to stay away from spiritually because it's not good for you. So
I just try to.
All right, Big Rich, how you feel about this spiritual vibe that people got their shit together? You know.
Well, to me, your spiritual life is essential to everything, and it flows in every other aspect of your life. You have to understand that, you know, our way of communicating with God is through prayer, and at the same time, you can't be selfish about it. And say you have a friend and you call your friend up on the phone and you're talking to them, but every time they try to say something to you, you just overrun them. You don't even let them get a word out. So that's not a conversation. That's a one-way communication there. That's not a communication. It's just you talking to them. It's not a conversation between you. God doesn't talk to us like he did in days of old, like in the Bible, but we have to allow him. We pray to him. That's us communicating with him, but we also have to be receptive to what he says in his word and the way he communicates us through things happen in our life. Things happen to us all around. You have to be really discerning about what's going on, because that's the way that he communicates with us. And you have to be in tune with that. But to be in tune with that, you have to believe that he is, and you have to believe that he's superior to you and he knows what's best. Too often we rely on our own understanding to navigate this life. So you have to look. I mean, sometimes you can take bad energy, and it's people not having bad energy, but they're having some problems in their life and they don't know. When I run into someone like that, I try to give them a little guidance and try to help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of just abandon them, but at the same time, if you run into somebody that's just so like Michelle was saying, just negative, period, and just won't let that go, then you got to beware of those kind of people, because that's going to siphon your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And your spiritual grounding and foundation, and that can shake your faith. So it's essential to understand it and navigate this world, man, because it flows into every aspect of your life, not just one or two. And it's not about where someone goes on Sunday and what they call themselves. It's about how they live their everyday life. Facts. And how they interact with other people.
Facts. I like that, because like you said, the spiritual thing, your Holy Spirit will tell you, it's like your conscience. It's going to tell you what's good for you, what's not good for you. You know, everybody know what they need to do, but are they really doing what they should be doing? So you got to follow your Holy Spirit. If you know, a lot of times you have people with bad spirits because they don't want to put in the work. And that's the hard truth. That's what create haters, because they basically hating on themselves before they start hating on anybody else, because they hate themselves. So misery loves company, and a lot of times people that come with that hate, they don't want to put in the work. So that's one thing that I know for a fact, that people need to start putting in the work. So, you know, that's definitely it. You know what I mean? But the next thing I'll talk about is people that's easily influenced by social media, and are people truly happy? You know, because I feel like if you see a person that's easily influenced by social media, and you can actually tell if a person truly happy, because of people that's truly happy, they walk around with a testimony of their low points to show you where they was at, to know their high points. And I won't start with Big Rich on this one, because you know you done told us some low points on this show before. And then at the same time, I know you don't get into the social media thing, but you see things on YouTube that be trending, like this cucumber challenge and all this crazy shit, going to Popeyes and people dancing with finger paint on and crap like that. How you feel about this topic of, you know, the influence of social media, and are people truly happy?
Well, yeah, I can speak to that. You know, I'm not on a whole lot of social media, but I'm not living in a vacuum either. I can see the effects that it has on people, and to me, it shouts loudly of emptiness and loneliness, because you're trying to pose as something that you're not, and trying so hard to be something, instead of spending that time actually improving yourself, if you spend the same amount of time on social media trying to put on a front for people, if you spend that same amount of time in positive endeavors trying to improve yourself, you'll be a whole lot further ahead, and then you will be fulfilled then. It won't be that you're just trying to show off and pose this way to people, and then when you turn the camera off, you have those feelings of loneliness. You have a feeling of accomplishment.
Facts.
And you'll be bold. It's about being truthful once again to yourself and truthful to others, and wasting your time doing that, because the thing about social media is this: people go on social media, but you're only really seeing what they want you to see. We're always talking about this thing, you only live once, or living your best life, that kind of talk. And people are just telling you that on social media, but they don't post up any of the things that are negative that are happening in their life, or the things that just are incidental and happen to people every day, all day anyway. You're just putting up a dream and a fantasy on that. And when you live on that kind of vibration there, you're not being truthful to yourself, and you're leaving a whole lot lacking because you're not paying attention to the other things. You can become so wrapped up in that social media personality that you just lose sight of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
So that's all I have to say about that, man. It's about a management of your time, and it's an empty kind of life, and it screams for help, man. A lot of people out here crying for help, man.
Facts. All right, Catherine, how you feel about the social media easy influence, and and are people truly happy?
I think it depends on each individual. Everybody's different. We use social media for certain. Some people do it because they don't really, don't have anything else going, and that's probably entertainment for them, or they want the attention. I believe most people use social media for whatever reason that pleases, for them, that makes them happy. Now, I'm not into social media like that. I'm not one that does. I never have been, because I know a lot of people, probably do it because, they like to follow what others do, or, want to make themselves stand out for whatever reason. But I don't, like I said, to each his own. I just think that everybody does maybe, use social media to whatever advantage they feel like it is for them. Everybody have a different reason, for using it. Some people require it because they require a lot of attention. Some people do it for business wise. Some people do it just to be doing something. So I don't know. I think it depends on it.
Do you got any indicator to know if somebody is truly living in their truth and truly happy? Is there any indicator that you can say, an example of you'll know if a person truly happy? Like when
not when you do that, because if you're putting up something just because it could be a moment thing.
Yeah, I'm talking about outside of social media. What would you consider somebody that's truly happy? How would you judge? How you got any example? Like me, I could see. I don't use Big Rich because I use him first. He may stand on his principles, may be a little harsh, but a person that can tell about his low point to the world is, I feel like a person like that give great testimonies are truly happy. You know what I mean? They're truly happy with their truth, truly happy of owning what their downfalls are and where they're moving forward in their life.
I agree with that, because I feel like that's where I'm at. When I get on him, I'm my true. I don't think I have to put on anything for anybody, because I'm too old for that. If you're going to accept me, you're going to accept me for who I am, and if you're not, you can keep it moving.
Facts.
Everybody's not like that, so I don't know.
See, what Catherine is speaking to right now is her purpose.
Mm-hmm.
She's being sincere, and it's to her purpose. The whole social media thing is like, we're on here tonight, okay? This is a form of social media, but we get on this thing every week, and we go back and forth. Sometimes we get a little heated. Sometimes we have a little fun, we have a laugh or two, but there's a lot of introspective material that goes on here. It's an upbuilding type of show, and we all learn a lot. At least I can speak for myself. I learn a lot about things, from what Catherine's talking about, from what Michelle's talking about, Tate, Mike. I listen to you stack, you get different perspectives, and this sort of thing, as far as social media goes, is a tool. If you use it as a tool in the right way, it's very, very beneficial.
Facts.
Like this, but you can also use it and go all the way left on it, and it could be oblivion. It could be disaster.
Facts, because some dudes is overdosing off of that red pill. I'm gonna go to Mike next, because he know about these guys that's overdosing off the red pill or getting too mental off this information they learn off social media. How you feel about the social media thing, Mike? Is it people too easily influenced to lose their purpose, lose their sight of who they really are?
It depends on the individual and their mentality. Like me, myself, I use social media to a certain degree. I don't let it run my life. There's a lot of people in there that get lost in that shit to the point to where they don't even have a life or even know who they are. They're just following other people just for the fuck of following them. If you're going to follow an individual, at least have a purpose of why you're following them. Do you want that kind of energy on you? Do you want to help that transition yourself into becoming a better person? Do you want to help that give you new ideas rather than just say, oh, I'm just going to follow them? Have at least a purpose and a reflection of who you are, and don't lose yourself in it. That is the main purpose. Nowadays, I see a lot of people, they'll use social media just for the fuck of saying, hey, I ain't got nothing else better to do, and I haven't worked on my own purpose, and I'm lost and shit, so I'm just going to go ahead and follow this motherfucker that's doing some fucked up shit, and not thinking of the consequences. If you're going to follow a person, follow a positive, influential person that can help you build your life, you know what I'm saying, to be better. You know, like the Stacks 44 show. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're here. We're learning how to build our lives to be better people. You know, I see a lot of people, they be like, oh, let's do this challenge, let's do that challenge. What are you exactly getting out of that? How about the let me build my life and have something for myself challenge in life challenge? You know, motherfuckers don't be thinking about shit like that. And that's why they'll never belong. They always seek to follow because they don't have the leadership skills, let alone what it takes to be a leader. You know, if you're going to be a leader, learn from a leader to make yourself a leader in order to be great. That's what I say. Make sure they're positive and the rest will follow, you know, and then eventually you find your own shit. You have your own style. You know, you don't have to constantly follow people in the bad direction, in the opposite direction. You want to be able to follow in a good direction. That way, that person's influential positivity will rub off on you, and you could influence others in a good way as well.
Facts. All right, Tate, how you know the social media thing, and do you have an indicator when a person is truly happy that you go by in your life on, you know, outside of social media, or, you know, how you feel about people that's easy influence on social media?
So to Rich and Mike's point, and not to mention Catherine's too, but I feel like you can engineer your social media, right? It's just like how we use Google, Alexa, what's the other Joan? The shit that we say, hey Google, hey Siri, and all them other ones. You have the ability to pick what you choose to look at, and this becomes artificial intelligence, or as they call it, the algorithm in the background. You start looking at dumb stuff, it's going to give you more dumb stuff. You can always change and look for stuff like Rich said, the Stack 44 show. You can look for people who speak into building yourself, building, self-worth. If you want to learn something, if you've been struggling with something, you can go find it. It's about, do you want to do that? Because a lot of times we that are on social media like the entertainment aspect, but we don't understand that there's informational stuff you can get from this as well. I mean, a lot of and I'm going to change a little subject, but I'm going to say, like, a lot of my financial advice, not all of it, but a lot of it came from seeing people on YouTube who talks about, like, hey, get better at doing this. You can invest doing this. You can learn how to do this particular method. Came from social media. But it's like, that stuff is not as glamorous. It's hard doing that work. We talked about that before on other shows. It's hard doing that work, but you can alter your social media where you can get the good stuff. I mean, you can see the dumb challenges and stuff, but you can also look at it like, all right, I see what people's doing, because, like, okay, my other aspect, I'm a DJ, right? I always want to know what they listen to on TikTok because that's the stuff that people want to hear. But at the same time, I'm not watching every TikTok for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at it for the information piece of it. And I think the way you can tell a person who's overall happy or satisfied in life is because, once again, it goes back to their conversations and their dictation. Like, what are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
If they're not talking about the positivity of life and wanting to share that type of positivity with other people, man, that kind of tell you where they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, hey, I know every man that I know, when he got a bad chick or a good chick on the side, she's at the forefront of that dude's mouth. Same with the woman. She got a good dude, she's gonna wear your ass out talking about how this dude is.
Mm-hmm.
But vice versa, if you on some old dumb stuff, I mean, yeah, it's easy to take a laugh or two, but it's like, you always talking about dumb stuff? Man, what you expect?
Right.
Dumb shit don't keep happening.
Right.
So, I mean, it's all about, what you look at, what you program yourself to be. And if you don't have as we all said, if you don't have a purpose in your life, man, like, you're not going to even look at the right stuff. Man, you're going to sit there and look at it's like eating junk food. You going to eat this shit all day, or you going to go get a meal?
Mm-hmm.
Which one you want?
Yeah, plan, purpose, program. That's definitely key in life. Michelle, how you feel about the social media easily influence, and what's an indicator to know if somebody's truly happy for you?
I look at social media mostly as like entertainment, but you also can learn things off of social media. The way the world is now, everything is pretty much it's posted out there. Another thing is like with social media is I kind of don't take it. I mean, I take it serious, but then again, I kind of don't, because you can kind of make yourself be wherever you want to be on social media. Like, a lot of people, they make it seem as if they, maybe have like this extravagant life where they're so happy or whatever, but deep down, you can't tell when somebody is just putting stuff on there, especially if it's somebody you know what they post, but they post it trying to make themselves look and seem like something that they're not. I feel like that's like a major thing nowadays. Everybody wants to like trend with what's going on. So you get so many people that's caught up in, I have to post this, or, like some people feel like they have to post every high and they have to post every low. And then, I feel like when you are, even when I get on social media, if I see someone on there that's literally on my page every 5 minutes, it's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, how do you have this much time to post your entire life story every 5 minutes? And it's like, people like that, they need validation from other people, or they need likes, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people, it's sickening, but some people, like, they live for social media. And to know if someone is happy, I kind of, like, look at people like that, I kind of feel sorry for them, because you can tell that they just, they're missing something in their life, and if there is something that's not clicking, so they use the social media to try to make themselves feel better. So I kind of think it's kind of sad, and not sad in a way of where I think it's kind of sad in a way of where it's like people are just like lost, and they don't know like who they are, so they are trying to feel they get something out of a bunch of strangers, or even people they know liking a status or commenting. But another thing about social media that I do like is that, I mean, it is informational stuff out there, or, that you have a relative you haven't talked to in a while, they post something. You can kind of keep up a little bit with what's going on with people. But I kind of don't look too deep into it, because social media is one of them things where, it could be fake or it could be genuine, you just really never know. But it just depends on what you're using it for. Like Catherine was saying, people use it for business, some people use it for pleasure, it just depends on what you're looking for. But you can tell when someone's not happy just by the things that they post and how they present themselves on there.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that, what Michelle is saying, because a lot of times I see it, a lot of people, they be putting a lot of shit up there, and I just be like, damn, like, don't you have a soul? Don't you have anything else better to do? And then I'll be like, man, I need to get off this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll get the fuck off the shit. But for the people, she is right though about, you know, a lot of people when they post like back to back, I wonder, I say to myself, I'll be like, damn, you know, for somebody to be on social media that much and to not have a life of their own and in an effort to help them build themselves, they like to front, they like to stunt, they like to show off a lot of shit. And the thing is, I'm like, you're making it hot for yourself, but not only people to maybe hate you, but it also shows a mental issue going on with the attention and the validation, because a person could front and put up a front like that, outward success, a glamour shot, you know, something that they wish that they were. But in reality, behind private, closed doors, you know, the after hours and shit, ain't nothing but a private failure. An inward private failure instead of an outward success. An inward private failure shows their failure.
Facts. Everybody know before they go to bed at night, they know if they're really happy with their life, if they're truly happy. Most of the people I know that's truly happy with their life are their influencers on social media, business people, people that don't do the most, or people that don't have no social media, period. So a lot of people I know that's really, truly happy, if they do post, it's like every other month. It's not, unless it's business-wise, it's all the time. But if it's less business, it's less posting. And, you know, I don't judge people off their stories, but if you posting something every 2-3 days, you're looking for validation from a bunch of strangers. That's basically like saying, look what I have in my house, come take it. That's how I look at it. If you posting that much, or it's come take me, you know, and then you don't know how many predators, especially for the women, they don't know how many predators out there watching your post and checking your posts and just like, oh, I want her. You know what I mean? So be careful with that too, because you don't know what type of energy you're attracting or what type of thirst traps dudes are actually going to trap you later. Hopefully not, but it is what it is. Moving on. The next thing I know, like how to know a person got their shit together, is how they live in the conditions or they live in the environment. Now, I don't think it's nothing wrong with somebody living in the hood. They might not want to move. But at some point, a person's environment would kind of, you know, tell you a lot about if they got their shit together. Because I know guys that will drive Chargers and Camaros and shit, but then they'd be living in the hood. Your car, you know, is more than your rent. That don't make no fucking sense to me. I'm just saying. I'm gonna start with Tate on this one. How you feel about a person's environment if they flip-flop their environment, have an expensive car, but, you know, living in the damn hood, or a person's environment, does that judge them about having their shit together to you?
Let me say, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. So 90% of that is just you living outside of your means. The other percentage of it is if you're smart and you can get a palace in the ghetto and you're doing it for economical reasons to advance yourself, then you are ahead of the curve. Unfortunately, the bigger group falls into the first part of that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, you flexing for somebody to rob you or take from you. Why do it? Like, I barely ever post, and I'm just saying for myself, I barely ever post if I'm home or not. You come in on me, it might be a surprise for you. You can tell, but you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? Especially off of social media. I just feel like you just campaign for somebody to get you. So why do it?
All right, Catherine, how you feel about a person's living conditions? How you been to a man's house and the environment was kind of messed up, not clean, and it just made you just turned off? Have it ever happened to you?
Yes, I have met a guy that invited me over, and I didn't even want to sit in his place. It was so nasty, and I didn't deal with that person anymore. But I wanted to say this, you know, sometimes that person, I've been with a guy, I met a guy that was financially stable. He had himself together, but because of what went through in his previous, I guess, earlier before he had met me, what he had been through, caused him to not be able to get the nice places where he wanted to live. So he had issues where he went through mental health things, maybe drug issues he had, and so he got him to a spot where he wanted to go out and get a nice place. He didn't qualify for those places. They didn't want him in them areas because of what he had on his record. So sometimes it's not always, that, they don't have the money. Because I know more than one, more than one guy, not people that I've dated, but I just know men because I've worked in mental health that actually got themselves together. And these are coming from soldiers, people and veterans. They used to be in the military. A lot of them, that they went through issues in their life, they have the money and they are financially there, but because of the things that they went through in life, that maybe they messed up previous in their life and didn't, pay some or mess their credit up or whatever, they wasn't able to get into places that they wanted to. So they stand in these rundown places, for whatever issue that they have or whatever. But that just goes to show what you're saying, that it's still, you'll learn a lot about a person if they really got themselves together. They can have money, but it could be other things that they're dealing with. It don't have to just necessarily have to be money. It could be other reasons, things they're dealing with in their life that cause them to be where they not, stable to be with somebody.
All right. Michelle, have you dated a guy that seemed to be okay, but when you got to his environment, it just was a turn off? Or is that a big indicator that you don't want to deal with him if the environment's not nice?
I haven't been to, I was married for 10 years, and prior to that, I didn't date enough to actually go to someone's house like that. But if I did and it wasn't clean, that would definitely be a turn off. But as far as the living arrangement, I wouldn't necessarily say somebody living in a hood would be a turn off. It just depends on, I don't know, because for me personally, if I was dating a guy and he lived in the hood and I got 2 kids and I don't feel like it's safe for my children, and if it's not a good school district, then I wouldn't do it. So if his house is willing to move, then I wouldn't be turned by it. But if he was just set on being cheap and was I'm staying here, I'm not leaving, blah blah blah, then it probably wouldn't work, only because I just feel I don't know, there's just certain things that are important as far as the living situation. But the main thing is if you're just not trifling. If you're nasty, that's one thing. But if you just living in a neighborhood that's just, not the greatest, it's not a big deal, but it just depends on if you're getting with a person who's okay living here.
All right.
It just depends on how you mix with that. So I don't know.
All right, Mike.
Be yo, my toilet backed up. Give me some sugar, baby.
All right, Mike, how you feel about Mike? I know you come from New York, so I know people gotta get it where they can get it out there. Paying $1,500 for a closet is crazy out there with the rent. So how you feel about a person's environment or living conditions? Is it a deal breaker for you, or is it show that person ain't got their shit together? Or what you got?
Hell yeah, man. It definitely shows if they got their shit together or not. Because if they don't, we already know times is hard. Last thing I want to be with is somebody that don't got their shit together. Because if they don't got their shit together and I do, it's going to be a burden on me. If they do got their shit together, then I'm going to be really, questioning myself. What the fuck did I miscalculate on to get me in this situation that I'm in now, where I need to get like them? I need to get better, living conditions definitely plays a critical role. Last thing I want to do is, come and, scoop a chick, or, I'm visiting her and her shit, her spot is all fucked up, clothes all over the floor, clothes not washed and shit like that. That shit'll fuck your head up. And that shows it's a reflection of their mental stability. They got clothes all over the floor, roaches all in the spot, you know what I'm saying? You fucking hopping over mice and shit, mice running around the damn sticky traps and shit. I've seen some shit, bro. You don't want to go into certain spots. I had one chick, she invited me to the house one time. I'm like, all right, cool, she was looking nice. you looking fine. I walk up in the spot, I'm like, damn, you living like this? Nah, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Like, anytime when I come to see you or whatever, which was that was the first and only last time I dealt with her. When she wanted to see me, I told her, hey, let's meet up somewhere, and I didn't even bother showing up. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. Like, it just ran through my mind a flashback of dealing with that individual the first time and the last time I saw how they were living. I didn't want to fucking let them get in my car no more because seeing roaches in their apartment is going to have me thinking, they might try to hit your ride in my shit and then try to, bunk up with me, and next thing you know, be a fucking episode of Joe's Apartment #3 and shit. And I really wasn't feeling that shit, man. Like, it was the mental stability. What could actually cause this individual to live like this? And it's fucked up because the area wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that far from the hood, but just the fact that she lived like that, she was a cool person to talk to. But after seeing the reality, I already knew what time it was, and I just couldn't do it. In certain situations like that, their living conditions is definitely a critical factor. I mean, I can understand if a room was fucked up, or she wasn't there, or the bathroom may be under construction, but that shit was under permanent construction. There was nothing you could do with it. It looked like a fucking tornado hit it. If you see signs like that, this individual was a hoarder, and I never knew it. So people, make sure when you see shit like that, and you know that this individual is a hoarder, like I'm talking about shit that's on the floor that they knew they should have thrown out yesteryear, be very, very careful of that. And I mean that shit, because this person there's a gear that's missing in that clock. There's a gear that's missing. The shit's spinning, but the other gears ain't fucking spinning. You got that one gear that's missing. And I want everybody to be mindful of that. That's all I'm going to say about that, but just be mindful of who you're dealing with when it comes down to that shit, especially when it comes down to their living conditions. It shows up a mind that's not stable. Yeah.
All right, Big Rich, you got any stories about living conditions or a woman moving in with you, living with you, and she just went left and been nasty and shit?
Well, I'll put it like this, man. I've seen a whole lot of things over the years, man. And as far as the hood goes, I still have a lot of people in the hood, man. I got family members in the hood, man. And for everything that bad that happens in the hood, there's a lot of love in the hood, man. And you got to look at who you're dealing with as opposed to all the time where their area is. When it comes to dealing with people, here's the thing. Like you all were talking about, you and Tate mentioned about priorities, man. And that's a big thing, whether you have your stuff together as far as things go, because you may drive a modest car or whatever, but if you're keeping your finances in order, that's better than you having something too expensive that you're driving or wearing all these clothes and jewelry. And, you got all this. I got some homeboys, man, that are draped up, got all kind of jewelry and the clothes and whatnot, but you go over the crib and it's all racked up. I got one of my homeboys, I just got done checking him too. He called me the other day wanting some gas money. Nigga, you 40 years old. He driving a 7 Series Beamer, but he looking for gas money. You driving that 7 Series, but you ain't got no business driving that if you still looking at. That's kind of childish about gas money.
He should have chose that Civic all the time. He should have chose that Civic, Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, but the thing here is, you can't judge people on what they have, because people are doing the best they can with what they have. But what I like to tend to do is judge people on how they're living and on their conversation, what they talk about. You can be with somebody, or you can know somebody. They don't have a whole lot of material things, but you go by their house and the house is clean. They're doing the best that they can. They may not dress flashy, but every time you see them, their clothes are pressed. Okay, they're clean. They keep a nice haircut. You talk to these people, and although they may not have a lot, they may be actually some stuff really jacked up about them as far as materials go. But you talk to them, and they're talking about building on things. They're talking about hustling, getting to the next level or whatever. Because, see, the thing in life is nothing ever stays the same. So you can't can't judge them on where they're at now, but you see where they're trying to go. If you know somebody, and this goes for people that even make money. If you make a whole bunch of money, but every time that you're not working, all you're doing is you're in the streets and you're spending it all the time. You're not really taking care of your finances then either. You know, it's about adding and changing yourself for the better, man. So I mean, I've never found that to be a deal breaker, unless, like, you know, Catherine was mentioning, Michelle was mentioning, and Mike said, "Oh, talking about them bugs, man." But I've lived in places where they had roaches, okay, back in the day. You know, it's all about getting to that next level, man. But you know, you got people that they'll be as clean as they can, but for where they're staying at, if the neighbors got them, you gonna have them too. Okay, but the thing is, how are you living? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get to the next level? Are you satisfied with what you're doing? Are you just out, as soon as you make money, you're spending money? So, you know, that goes a long way with but I don't see it to where it's in a materialistic standpoint, where it's about where you got, because there's something called being frugal too. Yes. So.
All right. Well, we live on, if you're coming in on our other stream, we live on Stack 44 on YouTube. So you want to come on over here, call the show. We're talking about, do people really have their shit together? I didn't really want to say it, but I said it. All right. The next thing, and I know you lean towards the financial thing, Rich. So the next thing I'll talk about is credit score, and are people really working on their credit? And do people even have bank accounts these days? Because I know guys that still cash a damn check at the liquor store. People that's drowning in debt. Like, I want to talk about this finance thing, because a lot of times some people could look like they got their shit together, but they really don't. But they so far in debt is ridiculous. So unfortunately, everybody go through some type of financial hardship. I feel like you should take a year or two sometimes to take a break on something. Understand that your spending habits is validation for others to enjoy, while you sitting there being a dancing monkey and saying, I bought this, I bought that, but then behind closed doors, you got negative in your bank account, or you paying negative fees or asking people for gas money, like Big Rich said. So I know Tate's, you know, he's my cousin. We talk about finances, and he's pretty good with his finances. So I'm gonna start with Tate, then I'm gonna go to Mike with this one. But Tate, how you feel about, you know, the credit score, or people working on their credit, or people that don't have bank accounts, or people that's drowning in debt, man?
I mean, I'm gonna start with the easiest one. Bank accounts right now are so easy to get that it's ridiculous. The only way you don't get a bank account now, if your money is coming from strange places, and you get what I mean when I say strange. A bank account, or not your bank account, but like your credit is a reflection of yourself. And until I even got, I guess, aware that it was, you know, one of those things that it can debilitate you. We talk about those nice places that people want to live in, stay at, you know, type of car you have, what type of payments you got to pay, all that is tied up into your credit. So if you don't take care of it, and the bad part is, it's so easy to mess it up. It's just like trust. It's so easy to mess up your credit that, like, trying to repair it can take years, if not decades, to do so. So, I mean, you know, it's like the best thing you could do is start getting financial sense and awareness early. And I ain't talking about like when you turn 18. I'm talking about you learn that shit when you a kid. If somebody give you $1, you know, and I know it's kind of hard to say now, to like save 75% of that and only spend 25. It just, like I say, it's just one of those things that goes in so many different aspects. Like when you become older and you want to have certain shit and go certain places and you can't, you sit back and be like, well, what the hell? You know, then it's like, now all of a sudden you got to just change up your entire strategy of life. I mean, so the best thing you can do is take care of that stuff while you're young. Is you got somebody to talk to, go talk to them. Platforms like this, where people talk about stuff. And then here's the other thing. You can do the research and read yourself. It's not hard. It just takes discipline. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that's just where it is. I mean, for somebody who's jacking up their credit and other stuff, man, I mean, it's only but a matter of time before that shit comes to bite you in your ass.
Thanks. Mike, how you feel about this credit thing and people having bank accounts at the damn liquor store or not having a bank account, gotta go cash their check at the liquor store? How you feel about this, Mike?
I mean, oh, hell yeah. I mean, me personally, myself, I think that individuals need to be more mindful of what they're doing as far as their own credit. Me personally, I would say, I'm not too fond of banks. Me personally, I'd rather get SBA loans and deal with the bonds. It's a bit on the private side, but for those who are investors, me and my group, we're about 15 strong right now. And here's the thing. With personal credit will never be how it's supposed to be at all. They brought us on a very, very small scale. The real trick of it is to invest in yourself by becoming a business. Have your own business. You and yourself are a personal business. So in order to have a personal business, you do what? You invest in yourself. You invest in yourself on paper. And then for everything that you've invested into that business, you could claim it back at the end of the year for all of that you invested. And that's rent, that's, everything that you basically are investing in. You pay the light bill, okay. You're at your house, you're working from home. A lot of people don't really see what's going on here. All of that money that you're investing, and you could, claim that at the end of the year for all of that money that you put into it. You as a business, if you've invested in yourself, could claim all of that back at the end of the year. And when you get into it and you invest in yourself as a business, instead of getting a personal credit score, which is what most of us go by, you get a business score, a business credit score, and you're able to do business loans, which is at a higher scale and gives you a lower interest rate.
Right.
So you're able to do more and invest in yourself more, and then you get more tax write-offs because why? You've invested in yourself as a business. I would like to see more and more people doing it. And that's what I'm doing right now. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question with that.
Okay.
Do you need an LLC or S corporation for that?
It depends.
I was gonna say opposed to like being like a I'm talking about for your like you say your business account. So like, what do you need for that?
I mean, you need a few things. I mean, first off, you need an assumed name. And then you have to, I wouldn't say necessarily register in that name, but you have to hold that name into the county, have it recorded. And then what you do is everything that they're referring to as far as your name, you have to basically wipe all of that shit off. Like with SageStream, all of those other, credit reporting identification companies like LexisNexis, they are all putting your information out there and selling it. So what you have to do is you have to stop them because they're putting a bad reputation on your name. And the sky's the limit. You could do an LLC or a S corp or a regular corporation. It depends on how high you want to go and how high you want that loan to be. But it's not going to be like a loan coming from a bank because they're going to tag your ass. So you have to invest in yourself as a business instead of just saying, well, I got a stimulus. I'm going to blow this money. I'm about to turn up. But a lot of people don't understand that whole turning up without turning that money into an investment will soon have you turning to move out that fucking house and they'll turn your lights off. You know what I'm saying? You won't have no money.
Yeah, turn your life around.
Turn your life around.
I'm going to go to Michelle on this one because I know she have owned a business before. So how do you feel about this, Michelle, with the credit score, people cashing as they don't know have a bank account, stuff like that, and people that's drowning in debt. And can you answer the question about the business, how you run a business and file taxes and stuff like that?
Yeah. So the first question is about the debt. You said.
Or just how you feel about credit score and stuff like that when you out there dating to know that people got their shit together, stuff like that. Just the general.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as like that, I think that. It depends. I'm not really interested in someone's credit and debt like right off top, especially when I'm trying to get to know them. I wouldn't say that I would just completely dismiss somebody because they got bad credit, but if we're going to like try to like be inside of a relationship and build something together, then the question should come up and it should be discussed. And, you know, sometimes when you just generally speaking to someone, you know, some people are just, you know, very outspoken about things like that. And then you got some people who aren't because they may be embarrassed or whatnot. So I think it depends on the type of relationship that you're trying to build with somebody. It will be important, especially like if you plan on marrying someone, you definitely want to know where the finances stand. But I would say in the beginning, I'm not about to go on the first date and ask, what's your credit score? I just wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be a concern until things got serious. And then at that point, if their credit was like not up to standard, or if they did have a lot of debt, you know, in the dating phase, what I would do, because I personally coach people on how to finance their, how to organize their finances and, you know, budget, things like that. So I would try to help them and assist them and give them knowledge and give them advice on how to work towards upping that credit score and getting things paid off. Sometimes it's just lack of knowledge. You know, in school, people, they don't teach you about credit and stuff like that. So it's just really something you have to learn. And I even, when I was younger, I jacked my credit up really bad. You know, I would go stay in an apartment. I would move, and just I messed it up real bad. And it wasn't until I was about 23, 24 that I realized, you know, when I had my baby, I was like, I got to get this together. I have a child now, so, you know, I need to take it more serious. So I started, you know, really paying attention to my score, paying off debts, things like that, making sure, you know, when I do get a credit card, watching the spend it limit and things like that. So I wouldn't just X somebody out off top because, you know, everybody, you know, or even people who don't have checking accounts. Like, you know, some people just, you know, some things are just not taught to people. So that would be a thing that I would help someone, whether I'm dating them or not, I would help them versus just immediately like, oh, I'm not dating you because you don't have credit, you know, or whatever. Some people just don't know. So they may need somebody to help them. So that's how I feel about that. And then what was the second question about business?
We was talking about the LLC and a person, you know, having their own business. Tate kind of asked Mike about it, and I know you ran a business before, and how you want to, you know, like the credit, the credit score with a business is different than a personal credit score.
Right. Yeah. And then as far as like, because you can build business credit, but as far as like having like an LLC and all that, I don't know. A lot of people nowadays, I've been seeing this a lot, but they'll go and get an LLC and be like, oh, I got a business. And then they'll post the LLC all on social media. And a lot of times these people haven't even done anything with their business. It's not established. They haven't practiced anything. They just feel like because they go reserve their name with the state that the business is legit. And it takes a lot of steps and things to do to make a business actually legit. And I think nowadays it's because getting an LLC is nothing. It's about a 5-minute process and it's going to cost you about $100. So it's not like you're really you really have to do anything to get that. It doesn't validate, you know, a successful business. And it is an important piece to, you know, get things legit, but there's a lot of other things that you also have to worry about is, you know, depending on what type of business you're doing, you know, you may need a certain type of license, or you may need to get, you know,
paperwork.
Business accounts. And it's not really easy to get a business account. When I went to get my business account, it took me about 2 tries to go back to make sure that I was providing the correct paperwork. So, you know, it wasn't just as easy as just walking into the bank and saying, okay, I want to get this. Like they want to see, you know, how established you are and, you know, what exactly it is that you have going on. And they want to make sure that you have the proper documentation to make it legit and have things in place. So that's, you know, it's a big deal, but it takes a lot of steps and things like that. So,
okay.
I would have to say do everything, you know, more privately instead of publicly. Because when you're dealing with the banks, of course, are going to charge you. But that's a different story, though. But I say, you know, between the finances and having everything set up, it's always good to have shit set up before you just dive into it.
Yeah.
And when you invest in yourself as a business, and that way things become a little bit better. Because when you're dealing with credit and scores and shit, a lot of people don't take the time to say, okay, well, all of this shit, I mean, anybody could say that you owe them money, But how are you contesting it other than just going online, typing some shit in? Are you sending them letters? Are you getting those letters back certified mail? Because I'm sure if everybody would go back and check their history as far as their credit, it's not the shit that you could see. It's the shit that you don't see that's fucking your credit up.
Right.
And they're not showing you that. So when they're not showing you that, and you haven't done your due diligence into investigating it, you're still sitting there looking stuck. Where you could, believe it or not, you could actually do the paperwork in the administrative process to where when you find some shit on your credit score and you say, hey, this motherfucker says some shit about my credit. Okay, cool. All right, where they at? Send them the letter over there. You get that letter back. And when they give you that letter back, you say, hey, I need for you to show me where I owe you this money and which account, because I don't recall having a contract with you. So when you say that and they don't respond, you say, hey, look, at the end of the letter, you want to put down, hey, listen, unless you say that, unless you could prove that on paper with my original wet ink signature, and you got 10 days, motherfucker, to go ahead and tell me where do I owe you money and who you got whoever from. Now, you're court me punitive damages, so now I'm going to sue you in court. I'm going to say that you owe me that money or $1,000 or whatever, and always have your documents notarized. So that way you at least have a witness when you get those papers back, sending it certified mail to whoever the CEO of the company is. Don't speak to the low-level people. Speak to the people that are the head of the companies, because they're the ones that's fucking you up on the private side. You want to get them on the private side too. And that way, when they say, oh, well, we don't owe you this money, or they even respond, you could take them to court, get the money back from the damages that they caused, that they don't have proof of you contracting with them, and you could get your shit free and clear. Or they'll just drop it, and there goes your credit score. Your credit score will go right back up.
Right. All right, Big Rich, what you got on the credit or people? Will it be a term? To me, I ain't gonna lie. If I meet a woman saying I'm at the damn liquor store cashing my check, I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, it'll be a red flag. Big Rich, what you got on that?
Man, well, everyone that spoke has covered everything basically, and covered it real well. But I do think it's a big thing especially once you get to be a certain age. I mean, but you'd be surprised how many people out here don't have a checking account. Like Tate said, it's not a difficult thing to do now. But I mean, you should. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are my age that I know that and females that are my age, and they just don't. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with someone having a net spend or a Chime or Rush cards and none of that kind of stuff. But you get you a checking account, get you a savings account. I mean, cause being in these, here in Cleveland, every Friday, well, Thursday and Friday mostly, you can't even go get some milk because there's so many people lined up at the Arab to cash their checks. Instead of just getting you a banking account, get the direct. But even with the cards now, when people have those prepaid debit card things, the net spins and all that kind of stuff. Get your stuff direct deposited, don't you? But that's a big thing with the Arab here in Cleveland, man. That's a Friday. You don't try to go pick up nothing real quick. Say you're gonna stop in the convenience store and pick up something real quick because you ain't gonna be getting it because people in there getting their checks. And a lot of those that are on a budget, young people. For those that are on a budget, stages in life. But when you get to be a certain age, man, it's certain things that just childish, man, and you can tell that person isn't really doing a whole lot with their life, and as far as getting themselves together, they're just posting by. That's in my thing is.
I want to let Catherine say something, guys, because she ain't said that in a minute, and then you can go and jump in and take. Catherine, how you feel about this bank account at the liquor store and people with bad credit, or is that a turn off for you? Is that a deal breaker?
I feel like everybody done said pretty much how I feel. I agree with everything that's been said so far. I mean, that's important. You don't want to deal with somebody that, I ain't going to say you don't want to, but I mean, it just depends on what the person is, looking for. Some people are willing to put that time in with somebody to build them up to that point, but myself, a 41-year-old woman, I don't want to have to try to build no man at this point. I need him to come to the table with some stuff in the bank. It's something as simple as a bank account. That's pretty basic to me. At this age, that anybody in their I think in their 30s should already have a banking account. I mean, in their 20s they should. I mean, if you got a job, most of the time you should get direct deposit to your bank. We're gonna let the 21s in their 20s slide. By 30, you should be there. About 40, it's ridiculous. Come on now, what are we doing? So, of course, that's very important. What was the other thing that you said?
He's talking about drowning in debt and bad credit.
Man, you know what? Everybody get to that. I think it's like, I don't remember who said that. I think it might have been Big Rich said that. People gonna go through credit issues and stuff. You know, at the point of your life, you got to start working on that. You know, and that's a sign of maturity. Once you get that, because then you're gonna start wanting things in life. And once you start going and you keep getting turned down, that means you're trying to build some of your life and you're not getting stuff. Well, you're gonna want to start working on your credit if you care. I mean, so. If I meet somebody that don't have the best of credit, but they working on their stuff, you know, they trying to get together, that's good. If you don't have no sense of trying to get, like I said, I'm talking about myself or somebody, even in their 30s or something, if you sitting up and you trying to have a serious relationship, want to build something, you should definitely be working on your credit if it's not good. And if you're going to get something, definitely pay for it and stuff. So all those things that's important.
Facts.
So,
Tate, what you had to say, man?
No, it was real quick. I was going to say, man, with the whole poppy stores, Arabs getting your check at the liquor store cash. Here's my biggest thing. You work hard in the motherfucker for your money. I don't give a fuck if you had to go sit at a desk or you did some extraneous shit. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to pay you $5 or $10 or any type of fee on my motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's why I kind of be like, I get it if you're young, but as you get older, I don't even want to pay fucking late fees.
Right.
Shit. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing that I think, you know, some people don't really consider when you talk about bank accounts. It's like, there's so many fees for doing shit. Like, if you become late on the bill, you not only pay a late fee, but then if you got to pay the bill, you know, that's just more money that you're giving to another company.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the financial responsibility, I think that's primary in anything that you do, man. And like I say, I know some people, you got to do what you got to do. I get it. But once you know better, you got to do better, man.
Facts.
Ain't no way in hell I'm about to pay some fees on my own money.
Facts.
That.
I think
if you want to get into some prepaid shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people need to go and start getting advances in at the Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, you get an advance over there at the Walmart. You got your shit. It's already prepaid for. You ain't got to do all that, you know, monkey dancing and shit. Go ahead. Go to the Walmart. I got one myself, American Express Bluebird. And, you know, I live on the private side. I don't really like fucking with the banks too much.
Damn.
When they start charging you all of that other shit, you know, there comes a time when you got to stop, man. Stretch your money. You know, invest in yourself. That's what it means by invest in yourself, man. Stop giving these other cats money, bro. For real.
Absolutely.
Well,
Jay, you know how it is here in Cleveland, man. You know what they get you for $15, $20 off the rip just to cash that check, man. Dude, that's what I'm saying.
And they look at you. And they look at you like shit.
And then because you in the store, you're going to spend another $5 on some bullshit just because you got cash in it, man. Fuck that. And I'm saying, fuck, period, that, exclamation mark. Like, I'm just, like I say, it's just certain things, man. And it's just like, and I think the way the system is, even with the, you know, the prepaid cards, they're not bad. It's just, you got to look at them fees, man. And like I say, Zach, it goes to your point about, like, you know, having a purpose and plan and understanding almost where your resources are going. Just like the same way you talked about earlier, like, you need to understand why you're looking at certain things and why you listen to certain stuff. Like, okay, we talk about social media. We talked about, like, the finances. It's like, all of these things are options that you choose and pick. You got to start making sense and better sense of what you have and what you have. I mean, what you have, what you watch, what you listen to, what you own, all that shit has to start making sense at some particular point in your life. I mean, it may not always be you can go from, you know, go from living in the hood to now you living in a palatial estate. But at the same token, you need to start making some better sense. I don't care if you didn't know it, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you just learned it tonight. The shit that you're getting from this platform for right now should really be sold, but at the same time, you're getting for free. Mm-hmm. If you listen to it, apply it. Mm-hmm. Not my bad. Let me get on my rant. Let me get on my soapbox.
Facts. But if you don't got your credit or your shit together, I'll tell you, if you got a job and you got a decent job, take your ass to a bank, get a secure credit card with yourself, put some money on it, establish yourself, make sure you get that checking account, pay your rent with a checkbook. Stop paying your rent with money orders. You want to make sure you have a history of you paying your rent with a checkbook. It helps you with your credit. It shows that you are reliable and you're paying your rent within your name. Your bank looks at stuff like that. A lot of people don't know that. That's an easy way to get that credit score up, is to just get a checking account, write checks for bills and things like that, and stay on time consistently. Those things will help you down the line. So that's one thing I want to say.
You don't want to fuck with a bank, fuck with a credit union too. They set this shit up as well.
A teacher's credit union or something like that. Go to a credit union, any type of credit union. But make sure you understand the way to move your money. Because a lot of times people, that don't know better, like when they do get better or they do get money, they just throw it out the. You can make more money than me, but if I know what to do with my money, I'm richer than you. That's how I look at it.
Here's the thing. The same person that makes $1,000, and if one has high debt, the other one doesn't, you would think they make almost, multiples of each other's money because the ability of what you can do. Like we said, we're talking about simple things from going from let's say a money order to just writing a check. A check it may cost you a total of $10 for 1,000 checks, compared to paying $50 to $1 per money order. You think about it, you got a light bill, you got gas, you got cable, got phone, got all these little bills that add up. Especially you start paying them with a credit card over the phone. That's like $4 or $5 with the gas company sometimes.
For real. Facts.
That shit adds up. Okay, in a month you paying damn near $100 in fees. Mm-hmm. All right, imagine you had $100 in your pocket times a year. That's $1,200. Mm-hmm. Times 10 years, that's $12,000 that you could have had at your disposal for what you want to do, as opposed to paying fees. And that's why I say it's so important to get financial literacy. Like you say, we're saying bank, but the bank could be credit unions. It could be, even the stuff that because I'm not familiar with it, like the stuff with the personal loans and all that stuff that Mike's talking about. I don't know it, but like I say, it sounds way better than giving a motherfucker some money for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We're going to move on, though. We was on that a little bit long, but we almost done, though. We got about 3 more to do. The next thing is knowing a person got their shit together, or at some point we got to get some reliable transportation. Let's just be real. Nobody's saying you got to go out and get a car note, but you at least got to have something that's going to make it to point A, point B. And if it's breaking down, you need to start strategically planning to get something that's reliable. Because let's just be honest, our lifeline in this world is our job and our transportation. And if you don't have a transportation, you can't have the job. So I'm going to start with Michelle on this one. How you feel about reliable transportation, and have you dated people with unreliable transportation, and was that a turnoff?
Yeah, I think reliable transportation is like the minimum. Like, unless there's a reason that you can't drive, which
my bad. Reliable transportation and a person with a valid driver's license too. My bad.
Okay.
Because that shit's out there these days. I know women ain't got driver's license right now.
Yeah, I think that it's stuff happens. People get in car accidents or something, or certain things make you lose your license.
Child support.
Child support. I think that as a grown person, you should that's just a part of a responsibility that, that is just ridiculous. Like, you should definitely have reliable transportation. I mean, like you said, it doesn't have to be like a brand new car and all that, but it definitely needs to be, you know, you need to be able to get from point A to point B. And me personally, I'm not dating anybody that I gotta go pick up and drop off. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I feel like it's one thing where it's like, you know, that's if you're dating someone and they have a car and you don't, like, you really, I almost feel like you're kind of not in a position to be dating. You know, wait, get yourself together and get those things and then try it, because it's just a burden. But you got some people who don't mind, and, you know, they'll work with you. But me personally, that's a minimum. I can't work with it.
Mike, I know you talk about this a lot. Women that you got to pick up or something. How you feel about the reliable transportation and people that don't have driver's license?
I mean, you know, it's all about effort, man. I mean, a lot of people say, well, you know, I don't really want to pay a car note. I'm like, have you even taken the thought of buying a car from the auction? You know, there's plenty of cars that are already fleet cars that the dealerships don't need anymore. So, you know, they go ahead and they send them off on auctions. Like, did you even try for the effort? Did you even try to do the effort for a driver's license other than saying, well, I need an ID, so I have to go and get an ID, but I'm not going to put that effort towards having a driver's license because I don't have no car. Like, I like dealing with somebody that's equally yoked as me. Plenty of times in my past, you know, I wouldn't mind dealing with a chick that ain't got no car. I could understand if she wrapped her shit, or, you know, the car just went out or whatever. But today, as far as me now, I cannot, and I repeat, I cannot deal with a female that doesn't have her own car. One reason that made me learn, aside from all of that, is I've had several cars. I decided to take one car out one day because there was an issue with the starter on one of my other cars. And being that I'm mechanically inclined, I know how to deal with certain shit. So I went to go and visit this honey, you know what I'm saying? I got all worked up, you know, showered and everything. I said, all right, cool, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to go scoop her. Fucking car went bad. I looked at it as, I'm like, yo, babe, you know, my shit just broke down. Oh, I'm so sorry, damn. And I'm saying to my mom, I'm not fucking with this girl no more because she can't even pick me up or can't even rescue me. I'm not going to be cat disabled. Fuck that shit. She rung me up. Hey, you know, what's going on? I'm like, hey, look, I need to know something, man. I need to know. She was like, what's that? I need to know when you're going to get a fucking car. I can't do this shit no more. I need to know when you're going to get a car. Well, you know, it doesn't look like that that's, you know, going to be happening anytime in the future. You know what I did? Click.
Damn.
Click. I can't do it. You gotta have a car. You gotta, like you said, Stacks before. And this is real shit for everybody that's over here on the panel and on this live. Do not deal with anybody who is not showing any kind of effort to being as equally yoked as you. Don't. Just don't do it. If they're not showing at least some kind of effort, like, yeah, you know, I don't got no car, but I got some money saved aside. You think you can help me look for one, or at least, you know. But if they're saying, well, you know, I just can't, don't deal with them. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. The energy that you'll be spending and shit, it's not worth it. Period.
All right, Catherine, you jumping out that Benz. I need to know how you feel about men with if they have reliable transportations or a license or they don't have that. Is that a deal breaker for you?
Yeah, man, he definitely needs to have a car. Don't have to drive what I drive, but he needs to have a car. So yeah, and a driving license. Because I don't want to, what if my car break down? I'm going to need him to be there for me. So I definitely want somebody that got a car and have a license.
I can see Catherine now. You ain't got no damn nigga. I ain't fucking with you. I need navigation and see. Oh no, we ain't going to do that.
No, you ain't doing it. You right. I'm not going to do it.
Put it down. Pick it up and get that your ass here.
Uh-oh.
Go sit down.
Talk to the dog or something.
Sorry about that, Joe. Sorry about that.
All right.
I didn't even hear it. I missed it. What did he say?
He said,
my grandson messing with stuff.
oh, okay. What you got on reliable transportation, Big Rich, since you jumped in? Fuck it.
My bad. I'm sorry about that, Joe. He's looking at me like he want to try me again. I'm gonna have to excuse myself to take the spell off. Yeah, as far as the transportation goes, man, that's a must. I mean, that's one of the things once you get to be a certain age, man, you need to have. I mean, I drove all kind of hoopties in my lifetime, man. And, but you get to a certain point, man, and I drove a bunch of fly rides, too. Don't see the sense much in that anymore because everything, vehicle is a depreciating asset, like a lot of things. And, if it's metal, it's going to rust, even though they're mostly made of fiberglass nowadays, but you always have some kind of problem. But you need reliable transportation. That goes off of what we were talking about before with the credit. That's the kind of stuff you need to keep your credit together on so you can go ahead and get yourself a ride, because as long as you're working, it's not really hard to get one nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would sort of stay away from these buy here, pay here places. I don't know about you guys where you guys live, but in Cleveland, that's a big thing, the buy here, pay here lots, and they got these astronomical percentage rates on the loans and whatnot. It's predatory, just like them Arab stores are predatory. But if you keep your credit, you can go ahead and walk up on the line. It's not about getting the best thing, but get something that you can pay on. Get something that's going to last you, and you can get the point A and point B on. And then after you're done paying that one off, you can go get another one or get close to paying it off. You can flip it into something else, but you got to keep something reliable, man. It don't make, like I say, I understand starting out, and I know sometimes even after you start out, things can happen, and you end up driving something not too reliable. But that's of utmost important to get yourself something, man, that you can go ahead and rely on, because that's the way you put it simply. That's the way to get to the money. A lot of times. So you got to go ahead and hang up that car. Like now, I'm cool with my Toyota Camry. I'm cool with it. My girls, they all, my daughters, the wifey blues, they drive the nicer cars and whatnot. Me, long as I can get back and forth, I'm good. I ain't trying to impress nobody at this point in my life. But why not flip it? Why not flip it like this, though? If you got a car or you're trying to get a newer car, why not invest in yourself as a business? Get the car, and then at the end of the year, have a write-off of how much you've invested. You've invested in that car. That car don't belong to you. It belongs to the business. Now you got a newer car that's ran by your business, and your business is to get back and forth to work as a business. If you have a business, to get that write-off for that car. Oh, absolutely, and I believe in that. I'm just trying to get them to get a job. Some of these young men, they just hanging out, man, and it's not hard to get a job nowadays. If you're not working right now and you're an able-bodied young man, you just don't want to work right now. Word. Right. I don't want to hear about COVID and all that crap. If you're not working right now and you got 2 arms and 2 legs and you can get to somewhere, you can have a job right now.
Facts. Take what you got, man, on this reliable transportation, man.
I mean, now here's the thing. I'm kind of like in a situation where I live in a major city where public transportation is the point. But you said a key point, and you said a license. Even if you don't own a freaking vehicle, having a driver's license gives you the ability to. Just like having a passport gives you the ability to travel. You may not never use it, may not never get a stamp, but you definitely need to have a license. Having a car, like I live in Philadelphia, so a lot of people commute to work. I mean, I work for a Fortune 200 type of company, so I mean, a lot of people commute to work. But at the same token, we do so many, what do you call it? Like we do after-hour events. I do a lot of meetings with clients and so forth. So for me not to have a car would be a detriment to my job where I couldn't perform the way I was supposed to. So it's like you said, why not have a vehicle? It don't have to be something to compete with another motherfucker or to say I'm stunting on somebody, but shit, be able to get the point A to point B. Because I always say it like this: if your ass gets sick, paying, like I said, I'm not big in paying fees. I don't want to pay for an ambulance delivery or an expensive ass Uber to go to a hospital when I could have drove my ass to the hospital or went to the doctor to find out what it was. I think you just gotta, think a little bit ahead, plan your shit, and just go get a damn license, like I say. And there's so many apps, even if you don't want to own a car, there are so many apps where you can get a car and have access to a car depending on where you live. One is like Zipcar. You go car, you tap it, it unlocks. You can get it for a couple hours. You ain't gotta own one if that's the fear. Hell, you can lease a car. You know what I'm saying? Where the maintenance is on them. I mean, now there's some other implications come behind all of this stuff, like paying fees and understanding that your money is only going to be used for a certain part of whatever you got. Sometimes you don't get shit from it, but it gives you the access to it. So, like I say, man, you got to have a license. You got to be able to get from point A to point B. Because if you, let's say, I go out on a date and I get sick, and your ass don't know how to drive, what the fuck we gonna do? Be stuck?
Netflix and chill.
Man, shit, man. I mean, that's cool. Don't get me wrong.
She gonna be dragging your ass in the Uber, man.
Guys, a question as far as this goes. Isn't this the year to where we have to get that? I don't know what it's called, like a universal license, so you have to have you gotta stuff.
No, you have to have a universal driver's license. That kind of
federal. It's for travel more so. It's not so much for your license, but it's for travel.
Yeah, travel.
Yeah, so they say if you ain't on a plane or whatnot, you gotta have it.
Yeah.
Correct.
I got mine.
You don't need it though.
Yeah.
You don't need it if you have a passport. So they're making you go out and get either your federal ID or you're gonna have to travel with a passport all the time, which is another ID.
Yeah, we about to get to that passport thing in a second too. So glad you mentioned that. I don't know why this nigga think like me, but it's all good. We cousins.
Hey, nigga, we come from my bad, Stack. We come from the same fucking blood. So,
all right, we got somebody from Mississippi calling. I hope this ain't no fucking troll, man. I ain't got time for trolls tonight. Let's check. You know what? The lines might be full. Hello? Hello, who's calling? Oh, it's China. How many damn numbers you got, girl? Okay. Oh shit. Let me I got the line full. I just realized I can't click you on. Okay. All right then. Thanks. All right. My bad, y'all. That was China. I got the line full, so I probably tell her I'm gonna text her the other number to call in on real quick. But I think we talked to everybody on the driver's thing. So yeah, that was a good one. Moving on after the driver's license and the transportation thing. I want to talk about the having control over your habits. And this is a big one to know if a person got their shit together. Because like you said, you can make $100,000, but if you got $120,000 going out every year or a lot of money going out because you got smoking habit, you got drinking habit, you got shopping habit, you got a hair habit. Women have hair habits. Trust me. I didn't learn that shit last month. Certain things I learned about women will spend money on hair and all this shit. But I'm gonna start with Michelle. How you feel about controlling your habits to make sure you got your shit together? Hello? Did I get everybody? Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
I said women, we have habits, but your habits should never be out of control to where your habits are a priority over taking care of your business. I usually give myself like a monthly budget on what I could spend on whatever I want. And once I keep that budget, it's a wrap. So I spend my money wisely. But there are people out here that will go and spend. I'm a hairstylist as well, so I have clients that spend $600 and $700, $500 on hair and things like that. and it's just that's just what it is. So I think it's fine as long as you can afford it, and if you're not spending money to the point where it's interfering with you taking care of your business and saving money and reaching your financial goals that you need. So I think it's fine if you can afford it.
But I know where the STEMI money at with you then, huh?
All the STEMI money with me.
Oh man. All right. Catherine, how you feel about a person that don't have control over their habits? A man that don't have a man or women or whoever.
Yeah, you want to have control because you want to be able to manage your money management, So that's really important. If you're not good with managing money, then you just gonna mess over stuff. It's like not even having it, because if you need to have self-control and what you buy, what you're spending on. So that's another thing that comes with growth too, and learning, because if you're young-minded and trying to impress and do all this kind of stuff, you'll spend all your money on stuff that's not important. You won't save, and anyone that's in their right mind know you got to save some money. You don't want to just spend, don't keep nothing, because you never know what may happen. So you definitely want to have some money saved. So I think that's very important. You want to be able to have money and be able to manage the money that you have. So I learned how to do that because I'm the only one in my household with my kids. So I'm pretty good with managing and getting me and my kids by. I've been doing it for a while now, for some years. So I done got pretty good at it. So, yeah, I definitely know what I can spend, what I can't. And I'm not the type that go out and go buy all name brand stuff and things. I'm not even into that. Because I know I can put on something and it ain't got to cost that much. And somebody will think it costs that much just because it's on me. They'll think it costs a lot. So I don't buy a whole expensive clothes. So I just make my stuff look good. So I know you don't have to do all that. But some people feel like they do. But, to each his own. All
right. Tell you how you feel about uncontrollable spending habits, or just habits, people that can't control their habits, that kind of like, that's a telltale that person ain't got their shit together.
You definitely want to be able to have control of your money, because what you don't do is going to cost you much more later. So if you can't control your money spending habits now, going down the line, you're definitely going to end up spending more money trying to correct what you could have done today. I don't even know what else to say about that. It's just
how you met women or dated women that had that, like, you look at it like, okay, you think they got their shit together, and then you dating them, and before you know it, they got these uncontrollable habits, and you see why they're not progressing.
I think we all have seen people not become a good steward of their resources, right? Including myself. Right? I don't even put women out there. I put myself out there.
Okay.
Like, I have some expensive ass habits too, and sometimes I overindulge. And hell, gambling was one of them. It can be one of them continually.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you got to know when to say when or when is enough. And I've definitely seen dated people who. They had a spending problem. If it wasn't brand new, if they wore it one time, that type thing where it was just like constantly, you're in the stores, you're in the malls, you also, like you mentioned before the show, you trying to impress other motherfuckers on social media by doing certain things. I've been around people like that, and I laugh at it because I'm just like, you spending all this shit to do what? To say you're an average motherfucker?
For real.
Because you're not better than somebody else by doing that, because if you were better, I think Ludacris said, the more money I got, the smaller my chain became.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I just say, like, you're doing all this to impress people who don't really, first of all, they don't care. Secondly, even if they did care, it ain't helping you out. So, like I said, man, I'm talking a long way, but I'm just saying, it's just like, I've been around people like that. I was that myself. it wasn't until I got older and I realized that, like, damn, how much money have I wasted doing X, Y, and Z? That this is like, all right, I can't continue to do this.
Facts.
I did it in my 20s. All right, in my 30s, if I didn't get it in my 20s, by my 30s, I'm definitely like, all right, you need to cap on this shit, because in my 40s, I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Big Rich, I know you say you had some habits over the years, man. A person that come in your life that got habits, is that's a deal breaker for you, or do you feel like that habits hold people down?
I don't necessarily deal with habits anymore. When you have now hobbies, that's one thing, but you can go too far and spend too much money on something like that. But as long as you're keeping your see, the thing is with habits, it equates to slavery in my mind. I think that you're so tied to something that it's made, and it may not even be damaging other people around you, but you're definitely doing yourself a disservice. And it doesn't speak to you being a well-rounded person. If you have something that you're tied to that much, that you're doing it to your detriment, man, you need to be spending a little bit more time, prioritizing that time, spending on doing something that's going to make you productive, or at least give other things equal amount of time so you can offset that time that you're essentially wasting with that habit.
Okay. We got China White that just joined the line, guys. So say hello to China, guys. I know Big Rich won't say hello to China.
What up, China?
Hey, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What you want to say on the topic? Do you got anything on the topic tonight about, people, how to know people got their shit together, or we on the topic of people that got bad habits? Like some women have bad habits with their appearance, and it cost them. I talked about a video called Fake Maintenance, and I know you shared it with a lot of people. Do you feel like those type of habits destroy women financially?
Yeah, I think it. I'm a real the type of person. I like to think about the mental of a woman, right? Because I think everything starts with the mind of the woman. In order for a woman to actually understand she has bad habits, she has to come to grips with her reality. I think a lot of women, they like that because we women, we lack to take accountability for our actions, right? A lot of times we like to live in delusion. We will mask different things with different things. And when it comes to a woman making bad decisions, let's say her finances, even the way she looks, to the things what she eats, to the people she hang around, all of that has a lot to do with everything when a woman is dealing with certain things. I think in order for a woman to actually understand that, she has to literally sit back and take a look at her life. How her spending has benefited her, to the weave, to the makeup, to the shoes she wears, to the perfume she wears. You know what I mean? To the people she hang around. So I like to look deeper into that. Like, we can sit here and talk about, women spend money. Women have bad habits, but like the woman has to literally look deep within, because it's a triggering. Majority of the time, it's triggering for women. Women mask pain through makeup, hair, etc. Money, spending. I know a woman in my family. She would rather go shopping than pay her light bill. Her life would be off about a month or two. She lived from paycheck to paycheck because she actually was dealing with something emotional, and then it goes back to your mental. I know I'm a little deep.
No, it's all good. I mean, that's something we covered earlier, being a mental and emotional stable. But some people value their outer appearance more than they value their spiritual appearance. So that's right. I'm gonna go to Mike on finishing this one up. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man, I mean, it's all on a whole new other format. For an individual that ain't got their money, you know what I'm saying, stable, or haven't invested in themselves, and it just shows a really serious instability. Like financially, people don't invest in themselves, and then they wondering why they have very bad spending habits. Often what I usually do is I try to avoid the temptation of buying something or seeing something, and if I'm gonna spend money on something, because people, I'm not gonna get racist or anything like that, but people of other races, they know that we have money, us as a people. And I'm not saying that to be racist or a hypocrite or anything like that, but they see us as liquid money, because we take that money and we constantly invest it on shit that we don't need. We need to invest it on shit that we can use, or that's going to at least pull us back money. And I don't mean clothes. I don't mean cars. If anything, pick up a habit, as far as a good habit, like, remodeling cars, a trade, something that you're really good at, something that you could find within yourself to be better, or to at least have you pull in money or save money for yourself, rather than just piss it away on things that depreciate greatly with value. They over time, you want to pull in money. Like, say for instance, if I have bad spending habits, if I'm going to spend money on something, I'm going to spend money on shit that's going to pull me into money. A lot of people don't realize how important a passport is. You buying shit that comes from China, why not go to China, put that money down on the fucking passport, make a couple of deals and investments, get in contact with people that you could buy the shit for pennies on a dollar. Now, guess what? You have a trade in import and export, and you could bring that in and sell it for a profit for yourself, and you're doing different things. You're working internationally, and you're pulling in money, rather than just spending that same $200 on a pair of sneakers just to be stuck here. You could spend that same $200 and invest in a passport to travel abroad and see the world, and bring that money back to you, and invest it into having that pull in money for you to make that passport work for you, rather than just spend it on some shit that's not going to hold that much value. That's what I mean by liquid money. You investing and you're pissing your shit away on little shit when you could catch the bigger fish by investing in yourself. And as far as bad habits, I've seen where people will piss away money and then cry about it later on when they don't have it. And I'm just like, hey, you bought all of that shit that you didn't need. You need to assess your wants and your needs. Your wants are not going to get you very far, but your needs of, okay, well, I just bought all of this other shit. Now fucking bill just came in. I'm not going to pay that. Well, if you would have took that same money and spent it on your needs rather than your wants, you'd be more balanced to getting further ahead and not having to suffer later on because of that bad spending habit. Same thing with eating out. Like, a lot of women, what I see nowadays, or a lot of people generally don't want to cook. They always want to go out to eat rather than, going to the fucking supermarket, picking up that food, bringing it home, stretch it for a couple of days. And, when they do that, they say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go for that 2 for $2 at fucking Applebee's and shit, and didn't think about, hey, I could have spent that $20 on gas. Or, hey, I could have spent that money on having food stretch out for the whole week. And eating healthy, It's just food for thought.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with treating yourself, but you got to understand, you take care of your wants, your needs. I mean, you take care of your needs, your wants will come. So you got to put all your bill money and all that stuff, all your ducks in a row before you go blow money or add money on accessories. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people don't think about what's important. They think about the shit after the math is over. A lot of times people spend so much money on just validation is ridiculous. Like, don't worry about being validated. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you gotta be have that self-esteem of self. I know China, you deal with sometimes a lot of broken women. Do you feel like a lot of women overspend just for attention? Oh shit, I lost her. But I'll just get back to that. But well, I asked Big Rich, how you feel about, do women overspend for attention?
I don't think it's just women, man. I think that's a balanced thing, man. I think a lot of dudes, I mean, as men and women, we spend too much money on attention, on attention getting tools or whatever. I hate to call them tools because it's not something that's beneficial, but you know, we have those kind of habits, attention getting habits, and we spend too much money on those things. And that goes to whether it's clothes, the car you drive, the anything, but we spend a lot of money instead of leading with ourselves, with our personality, with our spirit, with what we come to the table with that you can't put a price tag on.
Facts.
So.
Facts. Anybody want to comment else on that? Are we overspending to get validation? I'll go with Tate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Rich and Mike hit on it. I mean, in the black community, there's like $1.5 billion that we spend on stuff that has no value.
Damn.
When you think about that number, if we own the hair companies, if we own the weed companies, if we own the car, the rims, and all of the other shit that we spend money on, I mean, we would be doing. I mean, that money would stay within us. But because our mindset says to go buy as opposed to own, we just losing that battle, and that's why we hear like so many people talk about, like, say, the Jewish culture or the Chinese or the Oriental cultures where they keep their money and their money flips within their own
community. Facts. My bad. Take you. Did I lose you? Ah, shit. His phone ended. But he right. Right now, we getting a lot of people buying Hennessy, and there ain't no Hennessy in my city. I don't know about y'all, but motherfuckers have got their damn stimulus checks, and there ain't no Hennessy around at the liquor stores. The black people got the goddamn stimulus. There ain't no damn Hennessy, man. What the fuck?
They should have took that money and invested that in themselves.
That Hennessy gone, bro. I went to 3 liquor stores this week. Ain't no Hennessy, bro. I'm not fucking playing with y'all. Ain't no damn Hennessy, man. Now out here where I'm at, shit. Hennessy gonna be like fucking bourbon in a minute.
Hey, and here's the problem. Don't nobody know what LUMUH is. Which is a stock that owns Hennessy. Let alone this is a stock that just bought Jay-Z's Ace of Spades. Like, I don't know, I got cut off, but that's because of my apartment. But like I say, the money flips within other communities 6 to 7 times before it leaves out of that community. Whereas all we do is buy. We go to the poppy stores. We go get A-Rab the money for our checks. And then we say, hey, I want that fifth of Hennessy. We overpay for the fucking Hennessy at the clubs. I ain't knocking it. But I ain't no way in hell I'm about to pay $500 for a bottle that costs $40 at the liquor store.
Just for validation, though. Just think about it. They gonna give you little $5 sparklers and the $35 what's the name? Hell yeah, they celebrating that your dumb ass bought it, and they made a $460 $5 come up on your ass for. Oh yeah, they better have the girls dancing there for 4 or 5 minutes for your $500 buy, dumbass.
Money.
I mean, like I said, I don't knock it. Listen, I don't knock it because some people got it like that. Where, that's a drop in the bucket. But for me and mine, hey, I'm good right here with this little, my little whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say, when it comes down to our resources, like, we got them. We just got to be better with them. I mean, right now, with this, like you say, the stimulus, it's $1,400. Why don't you have an investment account somewhere? You ain't got to put a whole lot of money into it. Put $100 into it and let the bitch grow. And that's what your I'm gonna say your European or whatever your counterparts are doing. I guarantee you they put some money into that stock, even if it ain't $100 to let it ride. Fuck it, it ain't gonna necessarily go down. Shit, you get the right stock, shit, the shit is double.
Facts.
Let me tell you something. I used to work with this company. Shipping company. I ain't gonna say which one it is because I'd be too much personal shit or whatever. I had $20 because I wasn't, I had left $20 in that account, right? And over the course, my mom received a letter in the mail. She said, do you have any money like laying around somewhere else? I'm like, not that I know of other than what I got now. What's up? She said, don't you know you got $7,000 It's not over. It's my whole job. And that was for me not touching that $20 over the course of 7 years, still sitting in the credit union. So that's what happens when you put your money away and you don't touch it. Even if you do have it, save it for a rainy day. Invest it in yourself. And I don't mean the shit that's not pulling you in any money. Invested it in yourself. You know? Get a sort of line of credit. Invest in the paperwork of how you want to bring up your business. Talk to different investors and create a blueprint plan into having maybe like a class or something to have them pay you to teach other people. Do you believe me if I told you that we have so many programs that are going on right now due to COVID? You could actually teach a younger individual how to work on a car if you have that experience to generate that kind of wealth, or show them a program on how to fix a mechanical component, and they'll pay you to train them. And then if you want to go even further, you could take your shit overseas. And the United States corporation will pay you to train other people overseas to work on shit, and you getting money abroad, not just in the United States, but all over. Tax-free.
Tax-free.
Yep, through contracts.
Well, shit, I'm about to move on to the next topic. We got 2 more. Well, like 2.5 more, I'll say. The next thing I'll talk about, we talked about it last week, so that's why I'm gonna make it more of a half than a whole. Sometimes your physical appearance sometimes can make you look like you don't got your shit together. And I know, like we talked last week, we got some people with health issues and stuff like that. But if you consistently know a person for a certain amount of time and they're not doing the certain things they should be doing, and they're not going to the doctor, they're not, working on themselves, or you look like they just eating themselves to death, or they could be anorexic, it could be a multiple number of things, of physical appearance or appearance period. I would just say appearance period. Sometimes appearance period, like if you're a big guy, you should know how to dress. If you're a smaller person, you should know how to dress. Like we said yesterday, kind of, if a guy got dirty nails or a woman got maybe colored hair or tracks hanging out looking bad, get your shit together for real. I'm gonna start with Catherine on this one. How you feel about a person's appearance? Does it shows a lot about do they have their shit together as well? Catherine, you fall asleep on me?
Oh no, I'm here. You said, how do I feel about a person and their personal appearance?
Yeah, their personal appearance. When you see them in person, does it tell a lot about do they have their shit together about what they present themselves, woman or man?
Yeah, I think that absolutely does. If they, if a person is in a good, space with themselves, most of the time, unless they just a person that don't really care, because there are people out here don't really put that much into their appearance, but most people that really care about themselves, and it's gonna show in what they wear and how they present themselves when they go out. So yeah, that's important.
All right. Michelle, how you feel about the appearance thing? I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but we won't try to be brief on this one, guys. But Michelle, how you feel about the personal appearance?
I feel like, I don't know.
You don't know. You just date anything. She dating monsters, guys.
No, I look at that when dating. So I don't know. I like to dress. Like I love to look nice. So that person will have to definitely match that.
Okay. All right. Will, personal appearance. How you feel about that? Do it as a telltale? Do a person got their shit together?
I feel like clothes don't make a person, but you definitely want to take care of your appearance. Like I kind of don't subscribe to it. And part of it is probably because of my weight. Let's just start with what it is. I'm a bigger dude, so it's kind of harder to find some stuff to fit you the right way. So, it kind of makes it a little bit different. And then I'm also judged because of that. Like, people look at me, and they're going to judge me from 50 feet away as opposed to the 5 foot, the 5 inches, or whatever they call it. So I have to be on point at all times. If I'm not, I'm going to be perceived as sloppy or whatever. And it's just like, that's just the way the game works, you know? So, yeah, I mean, you got to take care of yourself. It's just, you don't have to go broke or do anything that's beyond yourself, but just, you know, keep it clean, keep it classy.
All right, Big Rich, how you feel about the personal appearance? I know we talked a little bit last week, make it quick, but is a personal appearance is a thing that make you be like, that motherfucker ain't got their shit together by just looking at a person?
Well, man, look, here's the thing. The thing with personal appearance, it's a projection type of deal. I mean, you're supposed to be the number one person on the planet that you love, right?
Yep.
So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not putting the utmost amount of pride in how you want to present yourself or represent yourself to the world, then that lets me know what you think about yourself, and that's a pretty good indicator of how you're going to treat me or anybody else in your life. So you got to take a little bit of pride with that. And I'm not talking about materialism and in the clothes or having the flyest. You know, if you can't get a haircut every week, get one every other week. Make sure you're shaved up. Ladies, keep your hair done, rather. Make sure that you smell nice. Make sure that you put together the best that you can be, because that's your projection. That's what's representing you to the world. And people will take that however you come. That's how you're going to treat them, because they know that if you care about yourself, then you're going to treat them with some kind of respect to you. I mean, you follow me what I'm saying? It's a projection type of deal.
Facts. Mike, how you feel about it? Make it quick. How you feel about that personal appearance, Mike?
Man, I'm going to make it real quick, sweet, short, and simple. I always have to say this, man. You know, look representable. If you look like shit, people are going to treat you like shit. If you look all flashy, people are going to treat you flashy, you know? But I say look representable. Look like, you know, the clothes that you have fit you and what you got going on for you. And just keep yourself representable, and the rest will follow. If you dress like a shit, people are going to treat you like a shit.
Facts. All right, so moving on to another one. And this one I just thought about on my head off of spur of the moment. But let's just talk about this kid thing. You know, I feel like when you meet people and their kids is wild and fucked up, you just be like, oh shit, you got baby daddy trauma. Or I mean, sometimes people have wild kids, and that make it look like they don't have their parenting in order, man or woman. You know, I know women that still sleep with their fucking kids right now, and they like 8 years old and shit. That to me, that's some bull. Like, or just if the kids is not trained to go to bed at a certain time. I mean, I'm not judging everybody, but sometimes as a man, you're going to be like, okay, that's not good. You feel me? As a man, you're going to look at it like, damn, is she doing this? Or vice versa. If a man sit here and say he got kids, but never talk about his kids, or he don't have his kids, I mean, it's a lot to judge a person about their parenting. But if their kids are wild and out of control, then it makes a red flag for a man or a woman. You know, I be seeing people in the grocery store, just in a department store, and they can't even control their damn kids. So, how do you feel about that, Big Rich? I know you got grown kids, but I know you.
I'm about to get on my daughter and ask her when she come, what she doing with this here little nigga, because he don't act like he want to lay down and go to bed when he told to.
Damn.
I don't know what she's doing over there at the house, but you know, as far as that goes, yeah, I mean, it just tells you a whole lot about how that dynamic is, and that's why I say I really don't mess with people that already have children, or when I see something like that, then I know that that's something you want to stay away from. But you know, that's men and women. So kids are different nowadays, because parents are different nowadays. We tend to always want to blame it on the kids, man, but you see them acting up, running through the grocery store or running through, they're not disciplined because their parents don't discipline.
Facts.
That's the thing. You had a lot of parents out here that would rather be friends with their children than be their parent.
Mm-hmm.
I can be friendly to you, and I can be your best friend, but I'm not one of your buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, I've always went by this old adage, and I follow it even with my grandchildren now. I look at it like this: if they're not pissed off with me half of the time, that means I ain't doing my job right. Because that means I'm letting them get away with anything that they want to do, and I'm not giving them any kind of guidance or counsel. Mm-hmm. So you're not there to be your kid's buddy and have them like you all the time, but you're there to do what's best for them and nurture critical thinking. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about you telling them what to do and they have to follow, but they know why you're telling them what to do. They know where that's going to transform later on into their life, why they have to develop those kind of habits and behaviors now at this point, man. Mm-hmm. And when they're not, like I say, that's a thing. Now, you always have outliers that sometimes kids are just, you're going to have some messed up kids, man. You know, yeah. So it's not always the parents' fault, but 90% of the time, man, that's a reflection on their upbringing. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. The best gift we can give our kids as parents is to have them function without us. And if you're being stern and disciplined, your child will like grow into being a responsible adult. And a lot of times I think a lot of parents don't realize that if you don't raise them now, when they get 20 years old, like my son is, they'll be acting like they dad. I hear from my son maybe twice a week, and he's in school, but it's not to the point that I gotta check on his every move. He trying to, Dad, I need this, Dad, I need that. He know what the budget is. He does what he got to do, unless a mercy happened, then he let me know. But from now on, I just know I raised a son that's gonna do what he has to do, you know, and be responsible. I'm gonna go to Michelle on the next. On this, how you feel about a person that got wild kids, or you know, or have you seen guys that announce their kids but don't have a relationship with their kids?
Yeah, I have children, so I feel like if I date a guy and he got some wild kids, and I see that, or if I date a guy and he don't never talk about his kids, that's a turn off, because it's like I have children, and if I'm trying to build anything with somebody who don't even deal with their own children, you know, they wouldn't be able to be any type of role model of mine. And I just have an issue with men not taking care of their responsibilities. So that would be a turn off. And then as far as like not having any structure, I wouldn't date someone who just let their kids run raggedy. The kids probably wouldn't have no type of respect for me. And, you know, I don't know. I think it's very important. Even as a woman, I have 2 little girls. So I make sure that, you know, my children are on a schedule, and that I can control having children, not letting that affect like me if I wanted to date someone. My kid's father, we have a good co-parenting relationship, so it's really easy to make sure my kids are structured and, you know, got structure and things like that. So that is something to pay attention to when you're dating someone, because it can cause issues, and it can be a lot. So you definitely want to pay attention to how people are with their children to make sure it can match, you know, what you do with yours if you're going to date someone and eventually try to combine that one day.
Okay. All right. Catherine, how you feel about this kid thing? Is it a deal breaker, or do you judge a man if his kids is wild or not, you know, not in the structure?
If I meet a man and he say he have kids, but he never spend time with his kids, he just, you know, say, you know, that he have them, then I'm gonna wonder then what type of father is he, because I know it's more than just you know, buying for your child, being, you know, just being just providing money. You actually have to spend time with that child and be with them. So I think that's important, you know, when dealing with the guy, if he has kids, because I'm a family type woman, so I know how to I won't let like if he say he got to spend time with his kids and he's got to do this, I got to respect that because that's important. You know, I'm not so such. I'm grown enough to know that the kids. I'm the type that put the kids first. Like, you know, I believe that's very important. I don't want no one to come into my life and expect me to put my kids on the back burner for them. So I believe in that. You know, that's really important and. For the children now, as far as me, I have 2 boys, and it's not really that easy, you know, raising boys as a woman. And so a lot of times they you know, my oldest, I'm starting to see now that he's 15, there's a lot of things that I used to be able to tell him, but he get right on it and do it. Now when I tell him, it's like, yeah, I get to it, and then I got to get real stern, and then I have to threaten. It's almost like I have to threaten him to get him to do stuff. So, you know, it's easier said than done, you know, when you out here and you a mother and you trying to raise the boys and stuff and they get to a certain age and I remember their fathers telling me this, you know, even their own personal stories after, you know, a child, a boy get a certain age, it's so much of stuff that, you know, he's not going to listen to from his mother. And I got to say that when I was younger, I didn't really listen to that, but now that I've actually experienced it in my life, it's kind of tough. So, you know, I'm just like I said, I am a single mom, and I do have 2 boys. I know that with my youngest, he's 6, but I didn't give that much time and it's not because I didn't want to, but his father wasn't in the States. So his father spent a lot of time overseas, but I know that, like my youngest son, his father is here stateside, so I would definitely give, you know, him more time with my youngest son as he get older, because now I learned, you know, because I'm seeing how I'm experiencing it with my oldest son. So I said all that to say that, you know, sometimes men, y'all got to understand, for a woman to stand for, like when you're raising boys, I know a mother's going to be a mother. She going to want to nurture, and I know they say, well, you know, women let, you know, their sons do everything, you know, they want to do, and they just run over them. But, I mean, at a certain age, you know, you can do all this. What you going to do, just sit up and beat your child or something? I'm not an advocate. I'm not going to sit up and beat, so I'm expecting my son to take in some of the stuff that I tell him, and I'm looking for him to change. Of course, he's not a bad kid, but, you know, he don't do everything right. He's not disrespectful. Because my kids, it's just, I guess I'm saying, it's just a certain level of stuff that I can teach him. Yeah. I realize now that I can teach, you know, that as a woman, that I can teach him that, you know, I know his dad probably could teach him or another man. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this.
You're doing a good job, darling, and I salute you for that, because it's a very, very difficult thing, because at a certain point, naturally, boys are going to grow into men, and as a man, he's a natural leader. So he's going to feel that he's got to not even bucking the tide. He's just going to feel independent and the need to lead and to be out there and not listen to things. So you're doing a good job. Just stay on it and do everything with love. But boys are definitely going to give their mothers a go for it once they reach a certain age, because you're just a natural. He wants to be a man. Yeah, and that's natural. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just natural. Yeah. So you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rich.
I'm gonna say this. My oldest son, when he turned 12, he started living with me. And at first, his mama said it was a good idea, and then she tried to butt back on it. But I think afterwards, you know, me and her talked, and she realized that's the best thing for him, because, you know, when you have an active father in your life, and to me, I think it should be a law in all these states. If a father's active in the life, he should, at a certain point, the nurturing years for a mother is like from birth to like 11 or maybe 11 years old to me. But when that boy hit puberty and he started thinking about these girls and that testosterone is up, he need to be around his damn daddy to understand how to control and tame his thoughts and so much emotions. Because, you know, let's just face it, it's harder for a boy to be accepted in this world. And then, you know, they do respect their mothers, but like Rich said, they're going to want some type of leadership. And I did a video about about maybe last year, it was like ages from 15 to 25 is the most critical years in anybody's life, but especially boys. You know, you can make babies, you can do all the wrong things at those ages. It shaped your life for the next 25 years. I know people that messed up their life in between those ages, and they probably don't bounce back until they damn near 40, 50. So it takes a lot to understand that. Mike, you want I don't let Tate go loud. No, Tate don't have no kids, so but I know you experienced dating women with kids, but I'm gonna let Mike go on this one. How you feel about this one, Mike? For one with kids, wow, or you know, just guys that don't take care of their kids and stuff like that. That aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's everything to find out who you're dealing with. Sometimes, you know, certain women have control over their kids, and you know, for the ones that do, you know, congratulations, more power to you. I commend you. Just make sure that the father stays in their life, and you know, help teach those kids, you know, right from wrong. Especially when you teach them lessons. Don't just hit them, you know, but you know, mentor them. You know, for every parent, doesn't matter if you're the mother or the father. Mentor them and show them positivity, creativity, and most of all, discipline. Because I see a lot of kids out there, just like on social media on Worldstar, the kid acting out, screaming gang, 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 and then jumping on the back of his neck. That shit will get you 5 hands across the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real shit. That weightlifting belt will tag that ass up as you running through the hills and shit. But, you know, they need to show their kids more discipline. If I met a woman and her kids were all over the place and shit, you know, I can't fuck with her because them more than likely there's gonna be them same little mofos. When you driving and you have maybe like 1 or 2 of them and they wilding out and you got kids yourself, then they're gonna try to influence your kids, and then your kids are gonna be like, well, no discipline, yeah, let's fuck everything up. No, assholes can go around. One for you, one for you, one for you, and one for you. But I'm going to whoop y'all asses because I don't want the system to get a hold of y'all later on. So I'd rather whoop y'all asses now and let y'all know why I whooped y'all asses rather than the system be having you in the system. You feel me? And I'd rather do that to say, well, at least I did that. I tried. I let them know what's going on, what it is, rather than let the system teach them. Because if you don't, the system will.
All right, Tay.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Tay, how you date any woman with bad kids? And was it a deal breaker for you?
I mean, yeah, definitely dated a woman with bad kids. It is a deal breaker at the end of the day because I think kids are just going to be themselves. They're going to be exploratory. They're going to try to test to see how far they can go. The problem that I have, or at least the women I've dated, has been the kids that don't want to listen, and then the parent try to act like there's something wrong with me, and I'm like, no, there's something wrong with your kid, or there's something wrong with the way you are running your household, that the kid is able to tell you one thing or the other. I'm a grown-ass man, and I done lived my life to this point that, like, I don't need a kid telling me what they will and won't do, but at the same time, neither here nor there. I do think at the end of the day, how our kids are raised or how they act around people is a reflection of what they get from home with their parents. You know, whether that's mommy or daddy or, you know, other people, uncles and whoever else. I mean, when a kid got a smart-ass mouth, I guarantee you, he didn't heard or she didn't heard mother or father talk like that. I mean, there's a meme with the little kid, like, I'm grown. He walks off. The reason he's able to do that, he emulated what he's seen. Kids are a reflection of that. Just like kids can tell certain things, you can tell a lot from a kid. So, yeah.
Right. All right. Well, the last thing I'll talk about, and we're going to get out of here, is some traveling history sometimes. You know, I don't know if you want to say if they got their shit together, but a lot of times you want to be with a person that's equally yoked to you. Let's just be honest. And that person that got lack of traveling experience could be a deal breaker because you kind of want to experience some type of, you know, I know people that never been on an airplane, and that would kind of be hard for me to try to get a woman to get on an airplane, or maybe like say don't have a passport, don't go here, don't go there. it could be a form of not being equally yoked with a person. I'll start with Tate on this one too. How you feel about somebody that don't have that much traveling history? Is it a deal breaker for you? And knowing that you're probably well traveled and they're not, is that something that you may look at like, oh, she 40 years old and never been on an airplane? Is that something that's gonna be a problem?
It's not a problem, but it is definitely a point of conversation because, being travel, and I'm not, and I ain't talking about just around the United States, but definitely going around the country, going around the world. It teaches you some things. It shows you some things. You get to see life from different perspectives. It opens your mind up to seeing that stuff is not always the way that we are used to in a Western society. Certain things we have luxuries to here, and you don't have those same luxuries, let's say, over in the Middle East or Europe or even in Canada. So yeah, for a woman that doesn't travel, for me, it's not a bad thing. It's just, what's the mindset of why you're not traveling? Is it because of finances? Which I agree. If you can't afford to do it, or you're not willing to take the resources that it takes to travel, then that's cool. But if you're not traveling because you fear of, the unknown or dying or whatever, as people used to say, like, I'm scared of flying, the airplane crashing. I mean, hell, the statistics say you're more likely to die from a car accident than an airplane crash. So I just think it's just one of those things. It's a maturity thing.
Okay. Michelle, how you feel about somebody that's a man that don't travel that much, and maybe you do, or is that a deal breaker, or that's showing that he never had his shit together? He's 40 years old and never been outside the states, or just outside his own state, maybe? Because I know people that damn near don't travel at all.
I wouldn't say, I don't know. I wouldn't really say deal breaker, but maybe a little turn off. But then I wouldn't call it a deal breaker, but it probably wouldn't go too far because I like to travel. So if I'm trying to get to know somebody or date someone and they are just like, if they're not traveling because of finances, like Tate said, that's one thing. I mean, I would prefer, if you can't afford it, to not be out here doing something you shouldn't be doing because you can't afford it. So that's one thing, but then that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't know. I would say that, I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but it could be a turn off. And because I like to travel, I would just prefer to date someone that is the same. Okay.
All right, Catherine, is it a deal breaker if somebody don't have a travel history when you meet them and they're about your age?
No, that's not a deal breaker. If he hasn't traveled, then that's something that I would think that's kind of cool, because then I would want to encourage him and let's travel together, because then it'd be fun to experience. It'd be his first experience traveling with me. So I don't think that's a deal breaker. I would wonder why. If he's never flown anywhere, I would wonder why, and I would probably ask why, but that wouldn't make me be like, oh, no, I can't deal with him. He ain't never been nowhere. Like, I would wonder. I would wonder, but it wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I can't deal because he ain't never done it. I would be like, okay, if this is the person that I'm really feeling, I'm like, well, man, this is nice. Then this is something that we can experience together, for his first time. So it wouldn't be bad.
Mike, how you feel about this traveling thing, man?
I mean, the traveling thing, I have nothing against it. I encourage more and more people to travel. We could already see, and I don't mean to talk bad about it, we could already see how America is turning out. I think we should definitely look for other venues and other places to explore, to find our way, because we've been held down for too long, and I think that a lot of us should go ahead and explore the world and see it for what it really is. And don't let everybody scare you into saying, oh, that place is dangerous over there on the other side and all of that other stuff. Just stay out the fucking hot zones like you would stay out of certain spots of the hood that you don't belong in, and you do fine.
Facts.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Big Rich, how you feel about the traveling thing? If somebody less travel, would you deal with them?
I ain't got nothing to say about it, man. I'm in trouble already because all three of them ganged up on me last week.
Oh,
and they told me that I have to get my passport this year.
Okay. So he in trouble. All right. So
I'm already in trouble.
well, we already know you the guy, you the other guy on the flip side, that guy that don't travel and they want to travel. So okay, we know where you stand.
I've flown all over the United States, man, and been to a whole lot of different places within the states. But as far as overseas, or even now, I think you got to have a passport to get into Canada, Niagara Falls. So it's something that I got to go ahead and do, man. I mean, I've never had one. I just haven't traveled because I just really haven't cared, man. I've lived such a full life, man, and been so busy doing things, and I think a lot of it was just living for my children, man, and making sure they got to do things. And all of them have been over to Europe. All of them have been to South America and this and that. It's just it's a tripped out thing, man. My life's been so busy. I don't think I've ever really thought about it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go do it now because they're telling me that I have to.
That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that shit.
Hey, Rich, make sure when you get your passport, you get the passport card. You live in Cleveland, which is only like 3 hours away from Niagara Falls. Having that passport card saves you to having to carry that passport book, and you can use it to travel into. You can actually use it for the cruises, and you can also use it for going into Mexico. Anywhere you can go by plane, not plane, excuse me, train, automobile, or walking, you can use your passport card. It's only like $10 without pressure.
Okay.
Facts. All right. So, that being said, that was it for the night on that. And like I say, I'm gonna let everybody have something to say getting out of here. But I basically want to do this video because people do need to get their shit together. I mean, I feel like 2020 taught us a lot about sitting at home in our environment. The mirror was pointed right at you so you can change. And then 2021 is the year of change. And, if you start, reflecting on who you really are in 2020, now 2021, you should be able to make a life-changing process to how you're playing your purpose in your program. So with last words, I'm going to start with Michelle. And then I'll go to Catherine, let the ladies have the first word. Michelle, what would you want to say to somebody that really don't have their shit together right now, what they need to do to start having their shit together?
I would say focus on improving yourself and, make a list. Sometimes you can write things down, have a goal list, and start checking things off and, being more in tune with yourself and just making sure that when you do decide that you want to date, even if you don't have everything together, because, nobody's perfect. So it's not like that everybody's just going to have every single thing, for another person. But you can make sure that, with getting to know someone and dating someone, that you're dating someone that is, on the same level as you, or someone that has understanding of your situation. So that would be nice.
Facts. I want everybody to stay online before y'all get off too, because I got something to say to y'all. All right, Catherine, what you got?
I agree with what Michelle just said, because you want to be the best you can be. So it's a self thing. So if you want to improve yourself, it's like make goals. I think that's what I do. I've always set my goals of what I want to do and everything I say. And a lot of times, I don't know if everybody know about this, but they say if you keep talking about it, you speak it into existence. So a lot of times, if you just keep saying something, it's something you want to do, it's somewhere you want to go, it's a job you want to get. If you keep saying it and you working towards it, most likely it has never failed for me. Everything that I've ever said and I kept talking about it or saying I'm going to get it, I'm going to do this, it happened. So I want to encourage everyone to do that, because I believe that if you talk it and you keep talking and you working towards it, it will come true in your life. So just be the best that you can be, and always strive. Don't look at the next person. Just, try to, it's not easy. It's not easy, and everybody's trying. We all trying to get there. So just work hard on what you want, and you can get it.
Facts. A lot of people got to stop faking it until they make it and just make it. You know what I mean? All right, Tate, what would you want to say to somebody, you know, that may be listening that need to get their shit together, man?
Man, today is a great day to start, man. Yesterday was it was even better. I just think, you know, have that talk with yourself, look in the mirror and say, hey, am I really happy with what you see? Not the physicality, but, you know, the mental, the spiritual, the financial. And if you're not with any of those aspects, start today. And I think, you know, with timing, planning, you know, maybe scheduling a consultation with yourself, that like you'll do yourself a world of difference. And like I said, you're the best investment to put money into is put it back into you, not spend it on you, but put it into you. You know, whatever makes you be the better you that you can be. So like you say, you versus you, there you go. Look in the mirror. Are you happy? Yes, no. If not, what do you need to do next? And today is the best day to start that.
All right, Big Rich, what you guys say, man, about, you know, somebody that need to get their shit together, man?
Well, man, to piggyback, you know, and in agreement with what Catherine said and Tate just now, just remember this, everybody. You're not in competition with anyone but yourself. And understand that we all have a past. We're all not, if you're anything about anything, you're not satisfied ever with your station. I'm not satisfied with my station right now. I'm doing things every day to improve it. But it's not about where you're at, it's where you're going. So just put one foot in front of the other and try to do something. Change one thing. And after you change that one thing and get that change, attack something else. And before you know it, you'll look up and you'll have a whole new perspective on things. But don't ever feel that it's too late to make these changes and improve yourself, because you always, as long as you still got breath coming in your lungs, you always have time. And I'm doing it right now by being on this thing here. And thank you, Stack. Thank you again, man, for having me on here. Tate, Mike, all my brothers, man, stay up. And I'm going to stay on the line, but I got to say, Michelle and I definitely got to say, Catherine, you ladies, it's a joy to talk to some intelligent ladies, because outside of my mates, I don't find a whole lot of intelligent ladies. As a matter of fact, intelligent people to talk to is a very rare thing, and I look forward to this thing every week. I always learn something, man. It's always uplifting and upbuilding, whatever way it goes, man. But Stack, you're doing a good thing here, and I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you, man. All right, Mike, what you got, man, for the closing? What you want to say, man? I'll make sure everybody's still on the line, because I'm going to challenge y'all for next week.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to lay it down for y'all short and sweet, and then I'm out. I just want to say, you know, members, everybody, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for joining in on the Stacks 44 show. I always want to say that even in everyone's life, no matter what position that you're in, there's always room for improvement, to better yourself, to be responsible, to hold yourself accountable for your actions, and to also think about the future. Don't think about short-term goals. Think about long-term goals. Short-term goals only get you but so far. You want those long-term goals, and you want to be able to benefit from them, and you want to be able to invest in that and show other people the way, and, you know, show that to your future, you know, and your future generation. Because without the past generation, we wouldn't be here for the present. And if we don't invest and do something today, then our future generation won't have a future. So that's very important, to invest in yourselves and to invest in one another. Sit with one another, help each other grow. Don't help each other stay stuck, but grow and learn from that. And, you know, I always say be responsible, invest in yourselves, you know, communication with one another, between our brothers and sisters, everybody that's out here. It doesn't matter what color, race, creed you are. Learn to stick together, because we're going to need each other for when those days come, and we need to rely on each other and set aside all of those petty differences that everybody's got going on with the fucking news and all that other shit. Look aside from that. Think about traveling abroad and invest in yourselves. Hold yourselves accountable. You know, love one another, most of all. And most of all, believe in God. And that's all I'm going to say. And you heard it here on the Stacks 44 show. This is Mike signing out. I love y'all.
Don't hang up, man. Hold on. All right. So next week, I'm going to do something a little different. It'll be the Stack Attack Sunday. We're going to start at 7 o'clock. But I want you guys that's calling in to come in with y'all questions. I feel like I'm taking a break on my questions. I want at least you guys write down 4 questions a piece, but I want the women to ask the man and the man to ask the women. So we're gonna do it like that. I mean, it's probably we might get some more people that want to call in on this one, but I want Catherine and Michelle to ask 4, at least write down your top 5 questions that you want to ask the guys, why we do this or why we do that. It'd be something for y'all to do for a week to think about, you know, call your girlfriends, get their perspective, but even invite them to the show, whatever. If I had to pull both of my phones out and we got to talk, I would like to hear that dialogue from women asking questions around the table and men answering. So, you know, Big Rich and Tate and Mike, come with the questions for the women. You know,
Are you sure you want me to come?
I want you to come. You might chase a couple of them away, but hey, it's what it is. But Mo ain't been back since, so I don't know, Mo. But hey, unfortunately, we got a Michelle and a Mo now. We got another woman with an M name, so hopefully Mo could come on back and not be intimidated, because the world don't, or me, you, or nobody understanding. If you just disagree, but don't run away because you have a disagreement with somebody. You got to stand for something, or you'll keep running from everything and anything. That's how I feel. So, but I think Mo will be back. Hopefully she'll be back. But can y'all do that for me?
All right, sound.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I'm just letting y'all know. I'm naming the show "Man Ask Women, Women Ask Men," and y'all better come with y'all damn questions, because I'm gonna be sitting here like I'm just the host. So,
all right, just remember you asked for it.
All right, just ask those. Hey, Big Rich bringing that smoke.
I don't think I'm gonna be ready for Big Rich questions. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, it ain't that bad. Hey, look, I'm gonna be on my best behavior.
Okay.
We're gonna have a good time as always.
All right.
Always.
So,
Okay.
with that being said, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Remember, no more Saturday shows until probably to October. I'm about to have fun on my Saturdays. I working and doing this is hard, but I like on Sundays is my chill time, wind down time, and I don't mind doing it on Sundays. Go back to Stack Attack Sundays, and then in April I'm gonna start a My Time Monday rant. On Mondays you'll see me ranting about people need to make sure they take value their time, and then on Wednesdays, Wake Up Wednesdays, it's gonna be 3-minute videos or like less than 3-minute videos of ranting what we need to wake up on or how we need to spend our time. And I think those short videos could motivate you for your time to be spent wisely to start your week off right. And those Wake Up Wednesdays is going to something to wake your ass up to think in the third dimension. When you think in the third dimension, you'll be above the world. We don't want you to be worldly. We want you to understand how to tap into yourself. And the spiritual thing is the best dynamic that you can have to hold on and build a legacy for you and yours. So with that being said, good night. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all pray for somebody that y'all don't know, or, give somebody some words of encouragement this week. And I'll holler at y'all on the next live stream next week with y'all questions.
Peace.
Peace. Good night, y'all.
Good night.